third last week.
There you see 400 laps, 400 miles, pit road speed 35 miles per hour, pit window for fuel, and this could come into play 85 to 95 laps. The racetrack keys, pit entrance. It's treacherous getting on the pit road here under green. Gambling on pit road, we saw it yesterday. Cars elected to stay out instead of taking on fresh tires. It prevailed. Reaction time. You never can breathe here. You never can relax. Well, DW, it's been a while since we've been partying on Sunday afternoon, so reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys! Newman wants those 5 points for leading this first lap bad. He really stretches it out here on lap 1.
Jeremy Mayfield could not get to the bottom. Jeff Gordon is right there.
I believe you're looking at that 12 car. He's a man on the mission. He's got to run good today if he's going to make the chase. Can't put it off any longer.
But Mike, just like yesterday, Jeremy Mayfield scoots by Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. He was working up in that second groove. That's the great thing about this place. We have that second groove of racing, and you're really going to run off the corner from there.
And Mike, you said, what did those guys learn from yesterday? That's another thing they learned from yesterday. There's grip out there, and they can run out there.
And there's grip there right away. A lot of cars back in the pack, testing the second and even the third lane up from the bottom. 3 cars dropped to the back on the start. Tony Stewart because of the driver change. Jamie McMurray, an engine change, and Kenny Wallace, choice of the driver to drop to the rear.
And I've been watching Tony Stewart in the 20 car. I mean, he's much faster than the group of cars he's racing with right now, but he's almost boxed in back there. You see him right here behind Reed Sorensen in the 41. I still believe, even though they know they're going to go to the rear and make the driver change, he wants to make up as much ground as possible here early.
Look, Darrell, it's hard to tell a race driver not to race. But Tony's job right now, as he goes 3 wide, he's racing, boys.
Well, that's just Tony Stewart. I mean,
yeah.
That was what I told him. I said, stick to the plan, buddy. Don't forget the plan. And, of course, you know Tony, he's going to go out there and he's going to run as hard as he can as long as he's in that race car.
But his job is to stay on the lead lap until they can make the driver change.
Well, it makes the driver change easier. The further up he is, the better, the easier it's going to be.
Now, Jimmy Johnson has 1 shot to get to the front. No change there. Spun in qualifying, had to start in the back, and look, right with him is his stablemate on pit road, the 4 of Scott Wimmer.
But just remember what they pointed out in the pre-race. Whoever's in front of who, that's who will pit first. Right now, it will be the 48 car. Ryan Newman has stretched it out to about a 3/4 of a second lead over Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 car. Jeff Gordon in the 24 has settled in the 3rd.
Elliott Sadler moving forward on Kevin Harvick.
I talked to Tommy Baldwin, his crew chief, this morning. Elliott Sadler qualified in 8th. They've been fast in practice. He said, Larry, it's the first time all year we hadn't been scrambling and struggling. We've been good the whole weekend since we unloaded.
Scott Riggs and Martin Truex fighting for the 14th position. Right behind them, Sterling Marlin and Greg Biffle in the 16. Remember, Biffle skipped last practice yesterday. You don't often see a team do that. They must have something up their sleeve.
I know they felt awfully good about this race car. Of course, they won this race 1 year ago, and as Darrell pointed out, he's got the Busch race under his belt.
Ryan Newman tried to rocket away from this field, and now Jeremy Mayfield is catching him up. They're just half a second apart after 9 laps on the Monster Mile.
He was running that high line like we did yesterday and getting a run off the corner. 11 laps. 11 laps to P4. 5:10, leader the flat. Clear by 1. Nice and easy. Take care of your car. For 90, leader the 5:10. That's flat, clear the 5:10. That's flat, same as the leader. At 10, clear the 10. Better pound out of the left, Pat. Oh. Clear the 20. Clear all around, clear by 5. Same as the leader. Still there. Still on your outside, 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 and clear. Clear all around.
Well, I think we've got a much hotter day. This racetrack is much slicker than it has been the last 2 days here.
Humidity is way down, but nonetheless, the track, they got a lot of sunshine that we haven't had on this track. It does affect it.
Here's our singular virtual crew chief question as Tony Stewart has climbed to 28th place. Should injured drivers have to start the race to get championship driver points? To answer, text the word crew to 191 on your singular phone or log on to foxsports.com/singular. You'll also be entered to win Jeff Burton's payday in Daytona. Kurt Busch passed Jeff Gordon. That's for 4th place. We're 20 laps into this race. The 20 team had hoped for a caution by now. Yesterday, as Ricky Rudd is at the ready to relieve Tony Stewart, yesterday's Busch race went caution-free the first 32 laps.
Well, I think the biggest thing, they want to try to stay on the lead lap because we talked earlier, if they do lose a lap in the driver change, you've got the free pass. But let me tell you somebody that's in trouble. This 48 Lowe's car, right now he is 39th, and he is only about 3 seconds from being lapped. That's the downside of qualifying bad here.
Oh, by the way, here comes Mark. Mark Martin's AAA Ford has just sliced past our pole sitter, Matt.
And Mark came on the radio and said the car is just really tight on exit, so that way Pat Tryson has an idea on their first stop how much of an adjustment to make. He said it's really tight. Meanwhile, the 19 and Mayfield, the leader, he says his car is just a little tight from the center off, but not bad at all, and it shows it on the lap times.
But Daryl, back to Jimmy Johnson, the 48 car. How many times have we seen this? Not just this year, but before this 48 car. Down in the beginning. I mean, right now, again, he's only about 2 seconds from being lapped. They get the free pass, they recover, fix the race car.
There's something about the 48 and the 24. They do not run well in traffic. They run well when they're up front and out in clean air, but there's something in the shock package that car just doesn't perform well around other race cars.
You can see he had his hands full off of turn 4 right now, and again, the story we want to make sure to tell, the guy he's racing with right now, the 4 car Scott Wimmer, they're sharing a pit. Whoever's running in front of who when the caution comes out, that's who will pit first. So there's a battle right there within that pit.
Maybe.
And the gentleman's agreement among those two crew chiefs is whichever car is ahead of the other is the car that will pit first. The other one will have to wait a lap. Now, once someone falls out of the race, then it's a moot point because the 4 team will move into the pit that's vacated by the car that falls out. Jeff Gordon coming back after Kurt Busch off turn 4. 4th place, didn't get it. For the lead, Mark Martin.
Once again, on the high side off turn 2, like we've seen so many times, the 19 car got a better run. Now, I think right here is where Mark Martin will prevail. There you see Jeff Gordon on the right-hand side, the 24 car. He goes by Kurt Busch.
But look what's right in front of Mark Martin. Hermie Sadler, and then the point leader, Jimmy Johnson.
Bunch of good race cars lining up back here, guys. You see them right there in your picture. Right behind Gordon is the 2 car. Comes the 29, the 11. Those guys are coming forward in a hurry.
Kevin Harvick.
Hey, and look at the old 38 car, Larry. He's popped his head up there all of a sudden.
The car has been good all weekend, Elliott Sadler.
6th, 7th, and 8th you're looking at. With Matt Kenseth, a kind of distant 9th, and Jeff Burton, yesterday's winner, 10th. The Red Rock Chevy of Sadler is going to go a lap down to Mark Martin. 28 laps complete. Martin, Mayfield, Newman, Gordon, and Busch. We're 29 laps in here at Dover International Speedway.
30 laps, P1. 550, a 590 out back. F60, 570 out back. $90, 580 out back. Your door, still there. Clear, clear, clear all around. Nice move, buddy. Way to do it. $90. 580 out back. Still there, barely there. Clear, clear, clear all around. Spin in front of you, spin in front of you, slow it down, it's in the middle of it. Down, you're good, right? Spin all around. Caution is up.
Caution flag of the day. That may be very good news for Jimmie Johnson, who just went a lap down. He may get a free pass.
If he does, though, this is the perfect pit scenario. Scott Wimmer in the 4 is still on the lead lap. They'll pit him first. If you get the free pass, you can't pit to the second time by, so it's going to work out perfect. And Tony Stewart in the 20 car, holding his own up there in 25th position, probably will stay out to get right behind the pace car where they'll have as much time as possible.
So there is no conflict in the pit, as right in front of Jamie McMurray, Tony Raines takes a spin. No contact, Darrell, just car got away. We're corrected. Dale Jarrett had just been lapped at the moment of caution.
He's going to come back up.
And DJ will be the free pass car, not the 48. So the Powerade Home Depot Chevy will come to pit road, and Ricky Rudd, who has not raced this year but is kept in shape by riding motocross bikes and racing his go-kart, will be there. Now he's going to stay out, we think, to lead a lap. Check and see if that happens.
And I believe he will be the only lead lap car, Steve, that will stay out, so he should possibly get those 5 points.
Leader Mark Martin is in. Now the car was both tight and just a little loose. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment for the guy who won the Truck Series race on Friday. He's already away.
Jeff Gordon beats Ryan Newman off the pit lane.
Tell you, Jeff's car looked pretty darn good. He was staying in there in 3rd place, looking pretty good today.
Little contact between Jeremy Mayfield and this car, the 11 of Denny Hamlin, coming out of the pit.
Dick Berger talked about this before the race, how tight this pit road is. You see barely wide enough for 2 cars. Jeremy Mayfield, the 19, had nowhere to go. He had a car on the outside of him.
Well, if you're going to get your left or your right front fender tweaked, he tweaked it the right way. He tweaked it out.
Now Tony Stewart did not lead a lap. Mark Martin was on pit road and crossed the start-finish line before Stewart. So Stewart has not picked up 5 bonus points, as now he comes to the pits to hand off to a 4-time Dover winner, Ricky Rudd.
He was just trying to get position, really, I think. I don't know if leading the lap was all that important or not. I think he just wanted to be coming in like he is right now.
Yeah, remember the start-finish line is the imaginary line that goes all the way across pit road. That's why Mark Martin led that lap.
They have choreographed this throughout the weekend, although without Tony. You see, he's already got his helmet and Hans off, and here he comes, Matt.
Mike, they've already pulled him out of the race car as Ricky Rudd is going in. Scott Gertz, they called an audible, is now going to help Jason Shapiro put Ricky back in the car. Smoke already had the helmet off, gloves off, window net down. Jason Lee standing on the right side of the race car with Tommy Dean, who's inside the car, helping Ricky get belted up. NASCAR officials looking on, making sure that everything is where it should be as far as belts are buckled up. Now Zippy sat down and calculated they've had 52 seconds with a pit road speed of 35 miles per hour as the pace car is entering turn 4. Mark Robertson, the spotter, is keeping Zippy abreast of where the pace car is. Shapiro telling Tommy Dean to climb out. They're getting ready to fire the race car, and they are pushing him away. He's out of the box. transfer completed. 1 minute.
Good job by that group. Plenty of room. Plenty of time to spare.
As much as Tony Stewart hates to get out of that car, Ricky Rudd is a favorite here every time he straps in. They could come back and win this race.
Here are your Fanatics.
Coming to 1 to go, Jim. Got the 20 coming by also.
Just $39.99. Nextel from Sprint.
Drop the bomb on razor irritation. Aqua Velva Ice Bomb.
Stage car's off. A good restart. Ready?
Came back in, completed service. He's out there at the tail end of the line, but on the lead lap. Jimmy Johnson 1 lap down. His teammate Jeff Gordon, the race leader. We're back under green after 41 laps.
You know, another thing that helped that 20 car, Chief Spotter Kevin Clark pointed it out, there's not a right side window here. You only run it at tracks 1.5 miles and bigger, so that was one less thing they had to work with.
So there is Rudd in 37th place. 39 cars on the lead lap. All 43 cars running. As Newman stalks Jeff Gordon for the lead up and off turn 2. Newman has a look, and Gordon comes down to close the door and then floats up high. Here comes Flying Ryan.
That 12 car is so good on the bottom of the racetrack. Now, Gordon will prevail off turn 4 simply because of getting that run on the high side. But eventually, a car that can run the bottom will wear you down.
Yeah, and I think the 12's really, really good on fresh tires, too. Looked like he faded a tad there a little bit ago, but really good on these new tires.
One of the things that enabled the quick driver change was Tony Stewart getting himself ready to climb out of that car, circulating around under caution before he came to pit road. And look how quickly, without his helmet or Hans, Stewart's able to be helped. And then they literally stuff Ricky Rudd his helmet through the window and in the car.
Yeah, the hard thing for Ricky is he's got his helmet, his Hans on full face helmet. You can't look down to hook up your belts, so you got to have somebody do all that stuff for you.
Rudd is up to 34th. Matt is with Tony Stewart.
According to the game plan, Mike, Tony said he'd watch the race from on top of the pit box. Tony, how comfortable were you in the car?
I wasn't very comfortable at all, I'll be honest. That's pretty good for the first 10 laps while everything was getting going and everybody picks up the speed once the track cleans off, and just the soreness kept coming and kept coming. So I was glad to get the caution when we got it.
According to the game plan, it's 1 minute exactly. A great stop by your guys to make the transfer.
Yeah, I'm having trouble hearing you, but I think you were asking about the stop. They did a great job. We had a plan on what we were going to do when we got in, and I think they did a great job of getting him in and didn't lose a lap. So that was the main thing. We just wanted to get him back out there without losing him a lap right now.
Thanks, Tom.
Hey, bud.
Yesterday's winner, Jeff Burton, now behind the wheel of his singular 31, and he is picking them off. One more car, and Burton will be in the top 5.
Yeah, and what he learned from yesterday is running right where he did yesterday. He's got that left side tire down on that white line, hooking the bottom. Some guys like to run the top, and Burton yesterday was awesome around the bottom of the racetrack.
There's how Burton has climbed through the field in these first 48 laps. Well, how do you fans vote on our singular virtual crew chief question? 50-50. Only the driver who starts the car gets points, and half of you said you need to start.
And if you go down and poll the drivers, they'd probably be about 50-50. The only driver that would say you don't need to do that is the one hurt. The others are going to say, I don't know if it's a bad idea or not.
Reed Sorensen, Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin, remember, was involved in that accident on pit road a while ago with Jeremy Mayfield. He had to come back to pit road to make repairs, and right now they're back in the 30th position with this 11 car, Denny Hamlin.
But that car is bad fast. He was chasing down the leaders just before that caution came out. He'll be okay.
Kyle Busch got himself in trouble last week when Casey Mears spun in front of him, taking Busch out of the race. He tossed his Hans device toward Mears. NASCAR tossed a $50,000 fine and a deduction of 25 championship points at Kyle Busch. Now he is following Greg Biffle up through the field, and they've broken into the top 10.
Well, Kyle Busch, remember, he finished second in both races here last year. He started 30th. Now, the first time he's been passed today was when Greg Biffle just went by him. He had worked his way all the way up to 9th in 50 laps. So pretty good race car for this 5 car.
Let's move up to 5th place, where teammates Kevin Harvick and Jeff Burton. Ooh, Harvick, a little bobble there. That opens the door. Teammate or not, here comes Burton.
Burton's got that bottom, man. I'll tell you, when he can run the bottom like that here with picking up the throttle, passing cars, that's the way to go.
Look at how quick he's back to that gas.
He's good through the center of the corner, and hooking around that inside is really quick.
I'll tell you what, Daryl and Jeff and Chris in the pre-race talked about we're halfway to that chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Championship. Remember, Richard Childress, he has not ever had a car in the chase. He's on the verge of possibly having 2 with Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick, who are both in the top 10 in points right now.
Look at the National Guard, 16 of Greg Biffle underneath Jeremy Mayfield, and this is for 8th place. And Matt Kenseth, his Roush Racing teammate, following Biffle up through.
He definitely has a teammate in tow with Kenseth in that 17 car.
And what an incredible weekend they had last weekend at Lowe's Motor Speedway. 5 cars in the top 8. That's impossible.
It's improbable.
It's incredible.
Yes, it is that. You're right. Biffle still trying the bottom. And let's see if he gets Mayfield this time. Nope, Jeremy's got that big run up off the top of the corner.
Kenseth got a big run off the top side. He pulls to the outside of Greg Biffle in the 16 car. He's going to take that position away, it looks like.
Yeah, Biffle got choked down there behind Mayfield, had to get out of the throttle, and that opened the top up for the 17 car to go by.
And as that happened, Elliott Sadler passed that whole group and went on.
Oh, by the way, Jeff Gordon is pulling away.
He leads Newman by almost a full second.
Morning.
Move, bud. 40. Clear by 4. Great job, buddy. At 30, leaders a 40. 5:20, leaders of 40. They're all around, clear by 5. Laps. 60 laps complete, P2. 5:20, leaders of 40. At 20, leaders of 40. They're all around, no pressure, man. Same as the leader. Laps is run, 20. 40, leaders of 30. At 30, leaders of 40. At 40, same as the leader. At 50, same as the leader. They're all around, no pressure. Doing a great job, man. At 50, same as the leader. Leaders of 50. At 50, same as the leader. Laps complete, 70, P2, 550, same as the leader. This run, Carlos. at 60, leaders at 70. Clear, clear, clear all around. 30 laps this run, 30 laps. They're all around. Take your time getting through these guys. They're all over the place. Good, boys, doing an awesome job. Just keep being smooth. High 70, leaders in 80. Probably a round and a half a bite out or so. Oh, we'll do 1.5 down on the right rear. And 80, leaders at 6 flat. Still out there, clear, clear, clear all around. And we're 6 flat. Anybody coming from behind? The 31's a little bit, coming a little bit, but not bad. Clear, clear. Nothing to worry about, they're a couple seconds back. 590, same as the leader. Clear, clear, clear all around. I've 80, same as the leader. We're all around, no pressure, back into red. I've 80, leaders at 90.
From Arrow, when the car is in yaw, when the car turns into the corner and the spoiler sticks out, that's when it loads the car up. So if you're not real balanced up on Arrow, if something's keeping that from happening, you're going to have a loose race car.
You know, we've been talking about the Childers cars. How about Clint Boyer in his 07 car? He started back in the 22nd position. He's fighting towards the top 10. He just drove by Earnhardt Jr. and Kurt Busch. He just moved up to the 11th position. So this car's starting to come to life. Another guy that ran the Busch race yesterday.
That's just what I was going to say. You think he learned anything from yesterday? Because he ran really well yesterday.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, I do too.
Jeff Gordon leading. Point leader and teammate to Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, a lap down. Mark Martin, Ryan Newman, Jeff Burton, and Matt Kenseth, your top 5. And an interesting start to the day for Tony Stewart's team.
Tony Stewart, who faces a tough day today.
He's racing, boys. Well, that's Tony Stewart. Of course, you know Tony, he's going to go out there and he's going to run as hard as he can as long as he's in that race car.
He comes to the pits to hand off to a 4-time Dover winner, Ricky Rudd.
Transfer completed, 1 minute.
590. Still down there. Clear, clear. Clear all around. Same as the leader. .590, leaders at 610. Five laps here, 45, about halfway through a fuel run. Hey, tell him he's going to get wrecked next time. See him and tell him.
So far, guys, for a track that's so grueling and physically demanding, the drivers seem to be holding the upper hand for the most part.
True, Chris. That pit sharing problem used to be fairly common, but tracks have updated and lengthened their pit roads, and it was usually a non-story because it was two of the back of the pack or slower cars that shared a pit, and it usually resolved itself pretty quickly. But here's your point leader who spun during qualifying, sharing a pit, and that has not yet been resolved. Now, just before we saw Mark Martin get loose, he was up close behind Jimmy Johnson. Mark gets a little frustrated with a lap car, tries to force the issue down to the bottom on Derek Cope, dips the left front wheel down on the apron to avoid contact, and yikes.
That'll make your heart skip a beat, I can tell you.
Well, if Jimmy Johnson doesn't get back on the lead lap, he would lose the point lead today. Matt Kenseth right now is in fourth place in this race.
Tell you, car I've been watching, been pretty exciting, but a good race car. J.J. Yaley in that 18 car, he just drove by Jeremy Mayfield in the 19. What he's been doing, you can see him right at the top of the groove, right at the top of the black, but when he needs to, he's able to turn the car to the bottom. Another guy that probably learned a little something yesterday.
Oh, sprint car racer, Mike. He likes to ride the cushion, baby, when he can.
That Imitrex, new on JJ's car, it's a prescription medicine to fight migraine headaches. And there will probably be lots of hands raised for that one before this day is over here.
I'll take two, please. And I won't be calling you tomorrow.
You know, one thing that could be going on with some of the cars we saw starting to back up, and now they're starting to make a little bit of a move. I think they'll move their car around. But remember, the cars that were loose were 60-something laps into this run. They burned a lot of that fuel off. It's gaining nose weight. That will tighten the car up.
Scott Riggs. Moving up on 17th place, Kurt Busch. Casey Kane went by a lap ago, so 3 dodges, 4 counting Casey Mears in the Texaco 42. 3 of them trying to move forward, and Kurt Busch running better now that he's gone up higher on the racetrack, but not in contention.
You know, this far into a run, Jimmy Johnson is running in basically about the 6th or 7th position on the racetrack. But the problem, Jeff Gordon is starting to lap more and more cars. Remember, every time he laps a car, which he's working on Joe Nemechek in the 01, that would put Joe Nemechek in the position to get the free pass. So Jimmy Johnson, what he's going to need is eventually a short, quick run where maybe he can be the first car lapped down.
I tell you what, Mark's doing a good job of hanging on to his car, and I don't think he's real happy with it. But that orange car right there that's closing up in a hurry, that 31 car is pretty quick right now, and he's chopping into catching up with Mark. And Jeff Gordon's not that far ahead of Mark, so he's charging to the front.
And you know who's following that orange car? That yellow car, Matt Kenseth, in that 17 right on his heels.
Matt Kenseth in 4th, Jeff Burton in 3rd. Burton trying to do the double. Kenseth solid. Biffle behind him. Dick.
Well, Burton started way back in the 17th position, Mike, and he has not said much about his race car today. He usually waits until a caution flag, and then he'll tell the crew about it, discuss what they want to do with the automobile. But the reality of it is, just look at the scoring chart, and lap after lap, Jeff Burton has the fastest car on the racetrack. It's a car with a good history. He's run it 5 times so far this year. 4 of those 5 times have resulted in a top 10 finish. But most important is the setup that's underneath it. And Burton and Scott Miller have nailed it today. They've got a car that's very, very fast.
What I like about Burton's car is it looks like he's doing it relatively easy right now. He's not sideways. He's not running all over the racetrack. He's got a nice, easy entry down on the bottom. Let's him play with the throttle. Works the throttle. Looks that's a comfortable car. See how he's got a good little push in the car, but it's turning for him.
Now let's update you on Ricky Rudd, who took over for Tony Stewart roughly about 60-something laps ago. Not in a lot of traffic right now, but he's in 27th position, about 3 seconds from going a lap down to our leader, Jeff Gordon.
One of the things I was concerned about for Ricky was go out by yourself, qualify, practice, that's one thing. But to get in competition when you haven't been in a car this year, that could be a little difficult for him, Matt.
DW, that's not the problem at all for Ricky. The problem that he has when they made the stop, he came back in the second time. They changed right side tires only. The car now, which was tight before, is now super tight, especially in traffic. He can't wait for their next scheduled stop to not only fix it with a chassis adjustment, but get 4 tires that are matched up better.
But Matt, the good news for Rudd right now is his lap times are mirroring that of the leader. Not so good for Jimmy Johnson, the other driver who started at the back today due to the spin in qualifying. He's a lap down, and Steve not gaining ground.
Not at all, Mike Joy. And Jimmy's had a couple of comments about his race car that I'm sure Larry and DW can expand upon, which are that he is tight on landing, and he also says that he is losing compression. Used those 2 terms a couple of times.
Well, what he means is on landing, remember we talk about you go down in the corner and the car compresses. So the car's not landing the way he wants it to, which means it hesitates to get back to the throttle.
Guys, we're 25% of this race. Darryl, one of the things you talked about at the beginning of the show was guys that needed to win a race. Jeff Gordon in the 24 car, only 1 win in the last 39 starts. You look back here at Mark Martin in the 6 car, only 1 win in the last 72 races. We've been talking about Jeff Burton in that 31 car. He has not won a race since Phoenix 2001, 160 races ago.
He did, however, win yesterday in the NASCAR Busch Series.
For the second time this year.
A little momentum there. Jeff Gordon 7th in the standings, now leading Mark Martin at lap 105 of 400 by just about 1 second.
You can't fear anyone or any track.
Leader of the the 90. .580, we have a 610. They're all around, 2 back 31. I want to let them flat up high Alpha 4. You're clear. No caution, June, no caution.
$800 credit card debt. Return the quality of life you deserve.
Over the years, we've
traffic. Four back. At 90.
All the way around with the right front tire flat, so he lost a lot of time on the track before he even got to pits. And then the stop wasn't stellar.
And this car is coming. South Boston, Virginia's Jeff Burton pulled up on Mark Martin. Mark just moved aside and let him go. Because Burton is fast at this stage of the race, and so is Matt Kenseth coming right along with him.
They're chomping into Jeff Gordon's lead right now, getting him about a tenth or two a lap.
I definitely think the handling has went away on Mark Martin in the 6th car, but he's not losing a lot of ground as these cars catch him. You saw him move over and let Greg Biffle go by him, and now we have a caution flag.
Debris in turn 4 puts us under yellow for the 2nd time today. That is bad news for J.J. Yaley, who made that green flag pit stop.
And Jimmy Johnson, the 48, will not even be close to being the first car a lap down.
Here is your
55, I think.
Free pass car is Michael Waltrip.
There's a lot of people that's very, very relieved to see this caution flag right here. A lot of guys were in trouble with their race cars, like Kurt Busch in the 2 car especially.
Wrong again, boys.
Man, we're 2 for 2.
Yeah, it's looking at the scoring monitor.
And here's why. When NASCAR waves the caution flag, they go back to the scoring loop that the cars crossed just prior to the issue of the flag. Now, at that time, Michael Waltrip apparently was still on the lead lap, and so he'll go around because he was on the lead lap. Travis Quapple was the first car 1 lap down, and Quapple will get the free pass.
Oh, we got 2 free passes that time.
Well, it's all a matter of where you are at the loop just prior to the caution flag, which rules out any bit of racing to the flag in any form.
Here it comes, boys. Feeding time. All the lead lap cars on pit road, Steve Burns.
And Jeff Gordon saying he's just a little bit free when he picks up the throttle, Larry Mack. They've already made an air pressure adjustment. The key here is crew chief Steve Letarte is going to try to clear him off of pit road as he exits. Nick.
Well, Jeff Burton with a very fast race car. Nonetheless, they are going to adjust both the static weight of this car and tire pressure. Derek Cope, who had pitted in front of him, is out. He's going to have a free ride out of his own pit. Matt.
Almost a little misissue. Crew member drops the wedge wrench. He also, though, runs around and does help index that left rear tire. Mark is away 15.3 seconds. The car really tight, but he felt like it was more tighter just in traffic.
Didn't hurt him too badly. Matt, he came in third and went out sixth.
But I'm
You are watching the Neighborhood Excellence for.
and no one turning out into him.
Yeah, I like a narrow pit road like this. That's a great pit selection.
Chad Knaus was the first to pick that pit and use it all the way to victory lane. And when he picked it, everybody went, "What are you doing?" Well, you're winning the race, was what he did. Now Jimmy Johnson comes in. Here's Steve.
And Jimmy Johnson saying that his car is also loose off. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. He will also give 4 tires to the number 48. Chad Knaus has been preaching patience to Jimmy Johnson, trying to get him back in contention.
Now, Scott Wimmer in the 4, he's still out on the racetrack. So the 48 guys, they've got to regroup here because the 4 car, Scott Wimmer, will be coming in the next time, and they will be pitting the 4 car.
The reason they decided to do this is that the length of the pit box is not long enough to accommodate 2 war wagons, 20 sets of tires, and 18 mechanics.
In 117 laps in this race, no one's out yet. The 4 car's still hunting a home.
And if you think about last week, they just wanted to keep doing pit stops.
Well, the reason he's slowing down, I think, is to give the 48 car, the crew, a chance to regroup and get his tires up there.
He's out of gas.
He's out of gas.
Yeah, I don't think that.
No fuel pressure, Scott Wimmer reports.
Now, that's really going to really aggravate that whole crowd because he stayed out while the 48 came in, and now he's out of fuel.
Well, as we mentioned, we are very close to green flag stops when that happened. And Darrell, when you were here under caution, we talked about the straightaways being banked. The fuel's running away from the pickup.
Maybe Jimmy will push him around into the pit. That'd be the nice thing to do.
He's not going to make it on his own, it doesn't look like.
And not going to get much help.
Well, he's got plenty of help if he can just get here
right
to
there.
it.
But he's right in the middle of 3 and 4 on the apron.
And here comes the wrecker to his aid.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's Mater or not, but here he comes.
But the shame is Scott Wimmer's going to lose a lap here.
Yeah.
Probably more than that.
Well, he was already 1 lap down.
1 down.
David Stremme stayed out to lead a lap under caution. It's the first time he has led in his brief Nextel Cup career.
Yeah, y'all fix it and then you quit. I don't know. You fix it and you forget, then 4 weeks later it's back to carrying throttle into the corner, pushing loose and all kinds of shit. That's why I'm so inconsistent today, because I forget that I notice I'm carrying throttle, and I'll stop, I'll get back to running better, and then I'll start carrying throttle into the corner again. Because it ain't, it takes a pound of pressure. Got another lab car coming to the green.
cooler, ownership of said beer is transferred.
What if the beer just floats in the ice and it never actually touches the cooler?
That beer's down by contact.
I can't take back my own beer. What's next? I can't do this.
How about you can take one beer home if it'll fit in your pocket?
A tuck rule.
Man law.
Man law.
The great taste of Miller Lite.
Cars off.
I wish I'd never been broiled.
Whopper Jr. for $1. Bringing some attitude to the new BK Value menu.
Green flag to begin lap 121. Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton, Ryan Newman, then Greg Biffle and Mark Martin are your leaders. And Kenseth wants the lead.
And I just believe he will prevail here before it's over with shortly. His car's so good through the middle of the corner, bottom of 3 and 4, he'll get 5 points for leading this lap.
Yeah, I believe he and Burton were definitely chasing Gordon down. They got better cars than he does, so that doesn't surprise me.
Just to update you on the Scott Wimmer story, he did make it to pit road, but right now he's 2 laps down in that 4 car. You want to see why Jeff Hammond and I retired as a crew chief? There it is right there. Chris Carrier, Scott Wimmer's crew chief.
He needs to see J.J. Yaley.
Darrell, looks like Jeff Gordon, the 24 car, not that good on fresh tires. Right now, he's got a lot of heat from Ryan Newman in that 12 car. This would be a battle for third.
You know, Larry, I can't tell you how many times I've seen yeah, I don't know, Larry. Sometimes that 24 bunch can make some adjustments, and he goes backwards. I just think that's that driver crew chief communication, that if there's a missing link in that operation right now, it's still, I think, Steve Letarte and Jeff Gordon trying to get that communication thing a little bit better.
Tell you what, a car that's flying is that 18 car back there, J.J. Yaley. Remember, he hit the wall, had to make a pit stop before that caution. Problem right now, 2 laps down, but he just drove by Greg Biffle in the 16 on the high side.
I tell you what, I was watching the 2 car off of turn 2 over there in the hall, and I said, I think there's something wrong with the 2 car. The 74, you see him waving his hand? He's trying. He can't, the 2 car is boxed. He can't get out behind the 74 car. And look, he's waving like crazy. Man, I can't go anywhere. But neither can the 2 car.
Derek Cope eventually did make a pit stop, and now he's back on track. But Kurt Busch has fallen to 29th, now 30th. Uh-oh. Elliott Sadler.
The 38 car, been running up in the top 10 most of this race, qualified up there. A unscheduled pit stop for this Robert Yates car.
He's going to lose at least 1 lap.
It looks like the right front tire might be soft on that car.
This is another one of those cars Mike and Darrell talked about at the top of the show. Needed a good finish and a good run here. Had a good run. Not sure if the finish is going to follow. We still got a long way to go, though.
He's going to be nearly 2 laps down when he comes back up on the track in turn 1, and Matt Kenseth may put him a 2nd lap down. Here comes Kenseth at speed. And that's what happens.
Larry, I just believe that 88, 38, they're imploding. I just think that they're convincing themselves they're not even very good right now, and they got big problems.
What happened, Elliott Sadler, Dick?
Well, not sure. They're checking the tires right now, Mike, but the one that was on the right front shows signs of having rubbed up against either the wall or another car. Steve.
And Dick, just to follow up on Jeff Gordon and DW's comments, since the restart, Jeff Gordon has said to crew chief Steve Letarte, it feels like it's leaning over too hard on the right rear tire.
Tells me they probably tried to tighten him up by dropping a little air out of that right rear tire. If that's the case, it'll come back. You just got to build a little pressure in it.
But that's definitely the same complaint that Kyle Busch in the 5 car had. We were listening to his radio transmission several laps ago. His teammate.
Sometimes you drop that air down in a car, it's just evil. You can't hardly drive it. Then all of a sudden, it's like you flip a switch, pressure builds, you take off.
At this stage of the race, Darrell, I think I'd want a car that works well on long runs. We had 37 laps to the first caution. Then we went 75 laps to the second caution.
Definitely want a car that handles good here on the long run. Plus, air pressure is so critical on this concrete. It builds up a lot quicker than it does on asphalt.
We were talking about cars that was looking for a caution that would include Ricky Rudd in that 20 car subbing for Tony Stewart. He was about to go a lap down. Right now, he's in the 22nd position. All these cars around him, this gaggle of cars, all lead lap cars.
The two cars at the front of that pack, though, Larry, are Tony Raines and Robbie Gordon, racing each other one lap down, and things are stacking up behind them.
But that's why I would like to have a driver, a veteran like Ricky Rudd in my race car, because he's not out there to really, you know, he's out there to get the job done. Finish this race, bring the car home in one piece, not make a hero out of himself.
Looking back for Mark Martin at Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick.
And I've known Ricky Rudd a long time, Mike. I have never seen him in such a jovial, having fun, man, good to be back at the track attitude. He was so excited.
6 months off will do that for you, Darrell.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know what you got till you ain't got it no more.
Well, it's like when we hit the ground running in Daytona. You know, after 6 months off, we're more than ready.
It's a beautiful thing.
Look at them 3 wide down the back straightaway there. But right now, we've got a battle heating up for the 4th position. Greg Biffle in the 16 car. He's taking advantage of Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. You heard the report, just a little bit loose right now. We're also hearing his teammate Jimmy Johnson is a little bit loose right now. Johnson needs the caution because he is the first car that's a lap down.
And that's what you do when you're in the 24 car and you're a little bit loose. Get that guy off your back bumper. Go on, get away from me. I don't need you back there messing with me.
Aggravating.
Yeah.
135 laps complete. We're about 1/3 distance on the Monster Mile at Dover, Delaware, and Matt Kenseth is out front by 0.6 of a second.
Still out there, barely there. Clear all around. T5, 560. Clear all around. Got a clear racetrack in front of you now. It's 30, same as the leader. Slide back to the 24. Good job. you're clear. Come on. Bye. Traffic. On the leader.
Jeff Burton had closed to within 0.3 of a second of the leader, and now he has faded back just a little bit, about 0.9 of a second off the lead.
Nothing to really worry about, though, because they're very comfortably in second place. Ryan Newman back there in third is pretty far back.
And how about Jeff Gordon struggling somewhat now in 7th place, 10 seconds off the lead. We listened in.
I think we're going to think about the track is not changing. We can't change because I think the track's going to change. We gotta, just fix the car where it needs to be. Simple.
And that's exactly what I was talking about as far as driver crew chief communication and Jeff giving them feedback about the car right there. Hey guys, the track isn't going to change. We were loose and we're still loose, so fix the car.
Yeah, don't adjust to the track. Track's not changing.
All right, Hermie Sadler has withdrawn his car from the race. So the shared pit situation no longer exists. This used to be fairly common in racing. Now it only occurs here and at Watkins Glen, which has 41 pit stalls. And Dover International Speedway has announced a very extensive upgrade program. One of those upgrades will be a longer pit road, along with eventually new garages, more VIP suites, a fan zone out behind the main grandstand, and much more.
And we're riding with Dale Jarrett right now in the 88 car. He's currently in the 27th position, still on the lead lap. You see the 4 car, Scott Wimmer, right behind him. Both of these cars are about to fall into the clutches of leader Matt Kenseth. Remember, Wimmer is 2 laps down. Now here comes the 4 team moving their tires down to their new home, their new pit box.
Sadly, that shared pit cost them, as Scott Wimmer is now 3 laps down because he had to go around an extra lap under caution, ran out of fuel pressure, and had to be pushed in.
There you see the leader, Matt Kenseth, just about to pull up on the rear bumper of Scott Wimmer. And what's ironic, when you look at Dale Jarrett, the 88 car, he's in the pit box right behind that pit that the 4 and the 48 has been sharing. So in the perfect world for Jimmy Johnson, they get back on the lead lap. Matt Kenseth, the leader, or whoever the leader is, puts Dale Jarrett a lap down. Not only did they get their own pit box, then they would have an opening behind them. The 88 would be a lap down. But problem again in this long green run, our leader's putting more cars a lap down, which is taking that free pass opportunity away from Jimmy Johnson in the 48.
He's definitely running better than he was in the get-go here, Jimmy Johnson. They have helped the car. They continue. If they get another stop or two, they keep working on it. He'll get back.
They have, Darrell. He's running 25.90, same as the leader. Kyle Busch passing Greg Biffle for 5th place. Here's Steve.
Hey, Mike, as you watch the 5 car, Kyle Busch just said, I have a better drive off now, but it's still tight off. I think it will not be that good on a long run.
Well, that's unfortunate because it looks like we're going to have several long runs today. Already had one almost 100 laps or 90 laps coming up here on another pretty good long run.
You know, another car that has come to life, he didn't qualify that great. Casey Kane, our winner from last week in the Coca-Cola 600, started in the 26th position. Another driver that ran in the Busch race. He's moved to the high side. He has worked his way into the top 10 in 10th position. 2 years ago, no way he was going to lose this race except for a big stream of oil in turn 3 and 4 with about 20 laps to go. Got into it, hit the wall.
Yeah, I think the higher he has to run, the slicker it gets, the better he'll be.
Well, just as long as it's not as slick as last year, Darrell. Casey Kane was the leader. Another car put oil down on the track. The 9 got into it. The 6 did not. Missed it by a foot. Kane bought the wall. Mark Martin won the race.
I remember that. We saw the car smoke off turn 2. We thought it was tire smoke. We watched the car go into turn 3. We didn't think there was any problem. And all of a sudden, here come Kane, and around went a bunch of cars.
That was last year. Right now, Casey Kane is 10th. Mark Martin is 4th. 27 cars on the lead lap. Matt Kenseth in front of Jeff Burton by 0.8 of a second in the Neighborhood Excellence 400, presented by Bank of America.
Behind the 17. Out. Inside. 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 Still inside. Inside. On your quarter. You're clear. You're clear right there. Clear. Inside. Inside. 17 inside, still inside, still inside, still inside, got the 31 with him, still inside, side, you're clear right there, all clear. Inside, inside, 17 inside. On your quarter, you're clear, all clear. Inside, on your quarter, you're clear, all clear. Clear by 1. Clear, clear. Clear by 1. Clear by 2. All clear. Clear. All clear. All clear, all clear. Look, you're clear, all clear. 31 is 1.5 back, 1 back. Looking inside on your quarter. You're clear, all clear.
Jeff Burton And Richard Childress, number 31, becomes the 7th different leader of the day. He's made 25 starts on the Monster Mile. This is the 7th race he has led.
Childress cars are running good today, Larry. All three of them.
We've seen that a lot this year.
I think that's part of from the Busch cars yesterday ran so great. And they're following up again today with great runs.
Yeah, all three of those guys ran in the Busch race. Of course, Jeff Burton, the winner from yesterday's Busch Series race.
And Boyer was pretty good. Now, Harvick, he wasn't all that great yesterday, but Burton and Boyer were, and they're both running good today.
Talk about Kevin Harvick, who's the runaway point leader in the Busch Series. I believe they had a miscue on their last pit stop yesterday, which cost him at least a top 10 finish.
Yeah, I think he finished 13th, his worst finish of the season in that Busch Series car. Only the 2nd time out of the top 10.
Yeah, he's only got a 300-point lead now. So, man, I know he's really probably staying awake at night worried about that.
Behind Harvick, Casey Kane coming, trying to get back in this race. He's in 10th place, 10 seconds off the lead.
I'm going to tell you a car right behind Casey Kane. I've been watching him throughout this race. Casey Mears in the 42 car started back in the 34th position. He just moved around Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car to move up to 11th. Remember, he had a pretty good race car last week at Lowe's till he got loose off turn 4 and hit the outside wall. One of those cars fighting hard to try to get in the top 10 in points, came in here 11th.
Behind him, Dale Jr., then Bobby Labonte. Watching Jeff Gordon's race car as Clint Boyer closes up for 7th place. And look at him carry that nose up off the corner and down the straightaway.
Well, Larry and I were noticing that car at Darlington. It really had the nose stuck up in the air. Now he finished 2nd at Darlington. And we noticed it at Charlotte, it was packing the nose in the air like that. And here it is today. In my opinion, that's why the car doesn't handle good in traffic. When you get that much air going on the nose of the car behind other cars and in traffic, it makes the nose jump. Look at that thing leap up in the air.
And look at the difference in Clint Boyer's in the 07, a lot lower down the straightaway than Jeff Gordon's 24.
And of course, you know, Larry and Jeff and I, we watch, everybody else watches a race. We watch race cars, and we see things that are interesting to us and different, and that's different right there.
But that's definitely 2 extremes right there. And, of course, that's something that Richard Childress Racing as a whole does a really good job at, keeping their car down. Look how high. We used to then race them up that high to load them in the trailer.
Now, that's big. The attitude is very different, but the stopwatch doesn't know it. The lap times of those 2 cars are less than half a tenth of a second apart.
The good thing for Gordon right now, he has clean racetrack in front of him. He's not in traffic.
Dick Berggren.
Well, Clint Boyer's in an interesting situation, Mike. When he first pits and then takes off to drop the green flag, the car starts tight. But then the car gets better and better and better. His most recent comment, it's excellent. Steve.
Well, Dick, watching the 24 car in front of the 07, Jeff Gordon is saying it's really tight in the middle and loose off. That much hasn't changed on his race car, but the adjustments will change on their next stop. Thus far, they've been making air pressure adjustments. This time, they're going to make a wedge adjustment to try and fix that condition of tight in the middle and loose off.
Thanks, Steve. Jeff Burton leads this race by half a second over Matt Kenseth. Mark Martin's 2.7 seconds back. Ryan Newman 3.8 seconds off the lead. And Kyle Busch a like amount. Newman's just moved into 4th place, trying to work his way back up to the front where he started today.
And Kyle Busch, one of those guys in the 5 car doing triple duty, ran the truck race as well on Friday. Had a good truck.
Lead change. Matt Kenseth goes back in front at lap 176. Matt?
Matt's pretty pleased with how the race car is reacting to the air pressure change they made on that last stop. He needed to get more grip in the front. The car was pushing. They've accomplished that, and he's back out front.
They definitely continue to make that car better. And remember, we've only had 2 opportunities to work on these cars almost halfway towards this race, 176 laps of the 400.
Matt Kenseth, the leader, will be joined by Dover International Speedway's all-time winner and lap leader when we come back.
All right, kids, line it up.
Good lap.
Half a straightaway back. You're in a 91. He's running a 78 now. Clean air. Clear. Later.
You can get a lot of consecutive, even sweep the races here in a year.
Well, the track it's the ideal racetrack, I think. You know, Melvin Joseph spent a lot of time making it a racetrack because he loved to race himself. You know, he loved racing himself. And the racetrack is just, you know, when you get it set up that works, you can come back and you can adjust it to whatever the conditions are on that day and keep it right there if you do things right.
Yeah, I think, particularly on the concrete, Bobby, I believe it's the consistency of the track. It's kind of like Bristol. Yeah. Probably take the same setup that we ran there years ago and still run good at Bristol. Same way with here.
Well, you might not could now.
Well, I don't know. I talked to Rusty Wallace. He hadn't changed in a long, long time.
But then as now, Bobby, won't this place just wear you out? And back then it was 500 miles.
Oh, yeah. See, that was another big thing about it. The track was so tough physically because it held so much pressure on you in the corners, and you know the straightaways were short, and you know you couldn't breathe good enough. but you had to just keep going, and you had to tug on that wheel. The track was just really tough on it.
No power steering.
Oh, no. Time out. He had power steering.
He was the first one
of the very first ones.
Yeah, and you guys didn't catch on for a while. But
Larry, I got to tell you,
okay too.
I was running second to him, and he's driving with one hand and waving at me with the other one. Because Junior wouldn't put power steering on his car, and Bobby said, "Hey, DW, look at me."
Yeah.
Hey, look at Jeff Burton. He takes the lead from Matt Kenseth and goes back out front. Glad to have you visit with us. He's got a book out.
Yeah.
He's got a DVD game about NASCAR racing, and
NASCAR,
you and Judy having some fun.
Yeah, we really are, and people are treating us good. And you know, I just got to say, you guys do a great job, but so many people with this NASCAR thing have done a great job, and I enjoy it.
Yeah,
thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Heroes like you, buddy. You made it what it is, so good to have you here today.
Well, we helped and had a lot of fun doing it.
We did. Got paid, too.
Yeah.
The great Bobby Allison. Jeff Burton has traffic to deal with, and not only does he have Matt Kenseth in tow, but Mark Martin, the third-place car, has closed the gap as they work past the Army car of Joe Nemechek. Going to have pit stops before too long.
It won't be long. They were on pit road at lap 116, so we're probably looking at about another 15 to 20 laps before what would be green flag stops. Who would ever believe it? 8 laps from halfway, only 2 cautions. And speaking of pit stops, I think our boys are ready to go to work in the 4 pits. They're all set up and ready.
Got their new home, and they have moved in. Why don't we take a pit stop so we can be back for green flag pit stops? You're watching NASCAR on FX.
Flat, clear the 610. Bring back 5 car. Still outside, still out there. Barely there. You are clear. Clear all around. I'll 10 more, bud. Watch your fuel pressure. We'll stay a little longer. A 5. It's 80, leaders at 70. It's 80, same as the leader. Still clear by 5. Still out there. Clear. Clear all around. halfway, bud, halfway. 6 flat. About 5 more to the pit stop, 5 more.
Has his own home now, has his old crew back, but yeah, you better believe as we approach green flag stops, he was going to be one of the first ones since he ran out of gas earlier.
Casey Kane will be the second one to pit as the lead changes hands once again. It's the 7 different leaders.
Now remember, we talked about it at the top of the show. Green flag stops. This is, besides Darlington, one of the worst places to get on the pit road under green. The apron you have to get on is so slick, and you're making a turn as you get to the entrance of pit road. It never fails we see a car spin out or even miss pit road.
The reason the apron is so slick and shiny is because it's been sealed. It's got sealer on. That makes it even worse.
12 lead changes among 7 drivers today, and we're just halfway. And trying mightily to stay on the lead lap is Ricky Rudd. And that Powerade number 20. Jeff Burton trying hard to put that car 1 lap down.
Right now, Ricky Rudd in the 20 car for Tony Stewart. He's in the 20th position. Jeff Burton will definitely go by him here. What Ricky Rudd needs right now is a caution immediately before Burton puts another car a lap down.
20 car just doesn't look that good right now. It just needs a little work done on it. I got to wonder about Ricky Rudd, though. I wonder if he thought coming in here he was going to have these long greens like this. That's hard on a guy. Look how good a shape you're in that hadn't been in a race car in a year or in 6 months.
And the car coming with fresh tires is Kevin LePage in the 49, a stage water heater's car. But LePage is 5 laps down and not a threat to the free pass position that Ricky Rudd finds in right now.
Again, I anticipate in the next 5 to 6 laps, we're probably going to see all of our leaders come to pit road. The last time they were here was back on lap 116, which was actually the last time we had a caution.
31 car is so smooth, Larry. I mean, when you got a car to run the bottom like that, it's so much fun to run here.
Rains and Riggs coming to the pit lane. Scott Riggs, one of the lead lap cars, and Tony Raines, who was a lap or 2 down.
Denny Hamlin in the 11 car. Now watch Scott Riggs. We talked about trying to get all you could getting on the pit road. He actually had to lock them up to keep from running over Tony Raines in the 96.
See how shiny that is, Larry? It's been sealed. It's got sealer on it to protect the asphalt. Makes it really, really slick.
Here comes Hamlin as Riggs completes a 4-tire and fuel stop.
Casey Mears in the 42 car, he hits pit road. He almost did not get inside that commitment cone.
He hit pit road.
Steve?
And Mike, they don't plan to make any changes on the 42 car. Casey Mears has started 36. You see the 20 hitting pit road. Casey Mears says his car is a little bit loose, but it feels decent, Matt.
And the 20 of Ricky Rudd making his way down this long pit road to his pit stop. Meanwhile, right behind him is Mark Martin and his Roush Ford. He's going to peel off first. Mark was running in the 3rd spot when he hit pit road. Now, his car was loose on that run. Besides an air pressure adjustment in the right rear, they also made a chassis adjustment. Meanwhile, Rudd, his car was tight now on his last stop. They pulled a spring rubber out of the 20 car. He's away. Steve Burns.
And Jeff Gordon on pit road continues to say his car is tight in the middle and loose off. They're going to take air out of the left side tires. Also making a wedge adjustment this time to help Jeff Gordon.
Matt Kenseth in the 17 car he's in. Jeremy Mayfield in the 19. Dave Blaney in the 22. Here comes Kevin Harvick in the 29, as well as Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8. And we're hearing that Ricky Rudd in the 20 car was too fast exiting. Remember, he was not out there on the pace laps to get his tack reading. He had to go off of what Tony Stewart told him on the tack.
I guarantee you the thing with Ricky Rudd is just like I always said. He's used to going to the end of the pit wall, down there at the end of the first pit stall. He's not aware of that last pit out to get on the racetrack.
Leader is in, Dick.
And that's Jeff Burton. They're going to make a very minor air pressure adjustment in the right front as the engine squirts water in the general area of the hood. Obviously running hot. They haven't said anything about that on the radio so far. Burton wasn't sure they wanted to change anything. Nice stop.
Larry, how big a concern is that spouting out the overflow?
Well, you know, again, we've had all these green flag runs here, and I think the thing, if they get back out on the racetrack, get up to speed, not a big issue. We see the children's cars do that a lot.
Steve?
The 5-car of Kyle Busch on pit road. He says his car is tight to center, and it gradually gets worse. 4 tires for him. They've taken 1 pound out of the left rear, Matt Yoakum.
And the 12, they made a chassis adjustment for Ryan Newman. His car was tight, middle, loose on exit. The 2, his teammate, Kurt Busch, was in. His car was extremely tight. They were talking about pulling a spring rubber out. And we missed the 17 stop when he came down pit road. His car wasn't bad. Slight air pressure adjustment for Kenseth.
All of this gave the lead to Greg Biffle for the first time today. And now Biffle pulls into his pit.
Jimmy Johnson, the 48 car, making his pit stop. Remember, still a lap down. And you know, Greg Zipadelli, the 20 car with Ricky Rudd, I think he had a good strategy there, because the minute Ricky went a lap down, he brought him to pit road to try to take advantage of those fresh tires, but he lost it because of the pit road speeding penalty.
Yeah, I know how unfamiliar that is to you. We're all used to running to the end of the pit lane and then going. And then you realize, oh, gee, there's another segment out there that I wasn't aware of. And the other thing on the 31 car, Larry, is spitting out water. That just tells me they have got that thing right on the edge of being taped up too much.
We just saw Carl Edwards in the 99 car. He had assumed the lead for a couple laps. He's now on pit road for his green flag stop.
All of the Roush cars have led today, with the exception of birthday boy Jamie McMurray. Dick Berggren.
Well, here comes Carl Edwards. They've not been happy with this race car all day long. Indeed, before the start of the race, crew chief Wally Brown told me he didn't think this car was good enough to win. An amazing comment. Edwards finished second yesterday in the Busch race, the day before second in the truck race. They really wanted to give him a car so he could do one better than that, but so far they haven't gotten it done. It's been tight, tight, tight.
Mike, it just came to me how come DW knows so much about that end of pit road.
Yeah.
He got busted for speed in the truck race at that end of the road.
That's exactly what it didn't dawn on me, Larry, that they had added that additional cone, that last segment. I never thought about it. And all of a sudden they said you were speeding out. I said, no, I wasn't. But then I realized there's another segment.
And I can't take credit for that. A little birdie named Hammond whispered it in my ear.
Oh,
yeah,
thanks,
I knew I wasn't going to pour salt in that.
He always has my back.
Pulling the knife out of it or twisting it, one or the other. Jeff Burton is back out front over Mark Martin by 1.2 seconds.
Still there. Clear all around. Nice and smooth, bud. Doing an awesome job, man. Keep getting them. 5:30, leaders at 30. Clear. Good lap. Traffic. Your door, corner clear. $25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50. 25.50
the bottom. Clear low, still outside, alongside on the top. At your door. Your corner on the top, you're all clear.
Jeff Burton, your leader, in time for a Visa race break. Bring you up to date with what has gone on across the Monster Mile, kind of disfigured racing. Ryan Newman, the pole sitter, led the first dozen laps. Jeremy Mayfield takes the lead. Ricky Rudd stepping in for Tony Stewart, who of course started the race with that injured shoulder, went the first 36 laps or so. Rudd penalized moments ago for a pit violation in the 20 car. Jeff Gordon led 81 laps, most laps led by him in a race this year, but fading back, Matt Kenseth took the lead, and then on lap 164 it was Jeff Burton pulling to the front to take the lead. He won Saturday's Busch race here in Dover. He's trying to do something for Richard Childress Racing that hasn't been done since 1993 when Dale Earnhardt did it, and that's win here at Dover. This has been a Visa race break. No matter what it takes, life takes Visa. We've only had 3 rounds of pit stops, Jeff Hammond. Let's take a look at the Craftsman pit summary and review the lanes.
Yeah, we just got through having a round of green flag stops. Matt Kenseth came in first about lap 200. He's now third, had a little bobble on pit road, not too bad. But Jeff Burton, who now is our leader, came in second, went out first. Mark Martin, he picked up a position on pit road. Kyle Busch kind of like stayed the same, but Ryan Newman elected to stay out about 3 or 4 extra laps longer than anybody else, and because of that, he fell all the way back to 12th. So tires right now seem to be very important here, and when you pit, could come into play before the end of this race.
And you see Newman in trouble here. 10 different leaders, 16 lead changes, only 2 cautions, and a lot of green flag racing here, highly unusual.
I have seen a lot of give and take, and it seems like these guys are really managing their cars very well today. Usually the Monster has a lot bigger roar than what it's had today so far, but it's really surprising how clean this race has been, but how good a racing we've seen between the 31, the 6, the 17, as well as Jeff Gordon. I mean, a lot of guys making lead changes out here on the racetrack under green as we take a look inside at Mark Martin of the 6 car.
Who is running second, and for Jeff Burton, the singular objective to hang on and win this race. Let's rejoin Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Joy.
Yeah, and right now we've got 14 cars on the lead lap, and Bobby Labonte in the 43 car is the last car on the lead lap. Jeff Burton is breathing down his neck right now, and Bobby's trying to hang on. He's pedaling as hard as he can go right now, trying to keep Burton back there, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
And he's in 14th place.
14th car is on the lead lap.
So Burton, Martin, and Kenseth have been setting really quite a pace here. Clint Boyer there in front of Robbie Gordon, the rookie who ran well in yesterday's Busch race. 6th place right now. He's 11 seconds off the lead, but all the Childress cars are on the lead lap and running well.
You know, Denny Hamlin in the 11 car, Darrell mentioned him a while ago. Remember, he started in the 7th position, but when we had that caution back on lap 37, he had the situation on pit road, had to go all the way to the rear of the field. He had stayed on the lead lap, and he's fighting to try to get into the top 10 right now.
All these guys right here, Larry, though, I mean, they got to go, baby, because the 31 is at the line now, and they're just going into turn 1, so they don't have very much room to play with here.
Yeah, we have about 4 cars that are only about 4 seconds from going a lap down.
Now, the 8 had just passed the 11, and whoops, the 11 goes back by Dale Jr. Regroups here and returns the favor.
But just looking out there at Denny Hamlin in the 11 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr. went back by him, as you just saw, and now Ryan Newman in the 12 drove by Denny Hamlin in the 11. Ryan still on the lead lap. You heard Jeff Hammond talk about Ryan. Basically kind of waited a few extra laps before he made his pit stop, gave up a lot of ground to those fresh tires.
And so did his teammate Kurt Busch, who has fallen off the lead lap. Hamlin is now the last car on the lead lap, 13th, as we ride with Kurt Busch way up the racetrack. Or is Bobby Labonte the last car on the lead lap?
Bobby Labonte's
goes back and forth.
But look, the 6 car, because 31, Burton can't get by. the 43 car of Bobby Labonte, it's allowed Mark to close back up on the back bumper here in the 6.
Mark is coming, and the fastest car on the racetrack is Matt Kenseth, who is third and is now close to within 1.5 seconds of the lead.
You just know if we're going to have long green runs, that 17 car is going to be there. That's what they're really good at.
There's the gap, first to third. Not a big one. And it's shrinking, as you see on Fox Tracks.
I give Bobby credit. He's been able to hold Jeff off here for a number of laps, and it's about 7 or 8 laps now that Jeff Burton's been working on Bobby Labonte. Can't quite get it done.
Now let's update our points leader. Remember, started 42nd in this field. Jimmy Johnson in the 48. He spun coming to take the white flag. Qualifying, got a lap down, and right now he is only about 3 or 4 seconds from going a second lap down. Our points leader coming in by 109 points.
Yeah, that could be disastrous. You go 2 laps down, then you can't get the lucky dog, so that really puts you in a box.
And not even close to getting the free pass right now should we get a caution, the 48 car.
Jeff Burton leading by ½ second over Mark Martin and Matt Kenseth. Bobby Labonte there.
Clear, 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 clear all around. 31 looking inside, he's not. You're clear, you're clear. That's 580. That's 50. Outside, still out there. Out there. With you. Still outside. Clear, clear all around. All right, man, back in your rhythm. You'll drive away from clear by 3. Only 13 cars on lead lap right now, 13. P1, 550, 60 out back.
A lot of fans using Nextel Fan View to enhance their race watching experience. where you can dial up onboard views, our NASCAR on FX coverage, live team communications, interesting statistics, and much more. To learn more, go to foxsports.com/NextelFanView. One of those statistics is this. Points as of now, since Jimmy Johnson has climbed to 25th place. He would leave here with the point lead over Kenseth and Martin.
And the guy that would fall out of the top 5 as of right now would be Tony Stewart, who started this race at the back of the field, gave the car over to Ricky Rudd. Right now, Ricky is 2 laps down, back in the 30th position on the last green flag stops, had that pit road speeding penalty exiting the pits. That's another lead lap car that our leader is working on to try to put a lap down. Denny Hamlin, the 11 car, we talked about him a while ago. He's in the 13th position right now.
But Larry, he had to restart at the rear of the field there a little while ago because of that contact on pit road. And he's been in a hole trying to dig himself out ever since.
So Martin the leader. Kenseth is right there as Hamlin floated up track in front of him, and now Gordon is under attack from Greg Biffle for 5th place.
I know Jeff's not happy with his car, Larry, but the longer he runs, the better it got. It was terrible on that restart. It's pretty good now.
And I think Biffle is a lot like his teammate Matt Kenseth, pretty good on the long run.
Let's hear what Jeff had to say about it.
Yeah, it started tight.
All right, put the wedge in it, and I think that other set of tires really pulled us. Just keep after it, we're going to adjust.
And it sounds like what Steve Letarte did. He adjusted the car to the characteristics, obviously, of the last set of tires that was on there. That's all the information you've got to go on, but it sounds like this set of tires may be different, so the adjustment was either too much or even the wrong way.
But that's good information back to the driver. We will adjust it to next time in. That gives you something to look forward to. You say, okay, I'm not very good, but you can fix it where I will be pretty good.
And with the way this race is going, remember, all the cars were on pit road at lap 210. They may only get one more opportunity to make it right.
Better make it right, isn't he?
Casey Kane, running in 8th, is going to have to stop sooner than the rest of the leaders, Steve, because he began the drop onto pit road under green flag by the lead lap car. Why was he in early?
Yeah, I can tell you, Mike, as Larry just said, most of the leaders stopped on or about lap 210. Well, Casey stopped 12 laps earlier than everybody else. As it turns out, Mike, he had a tire going down. He didn't know it at the time, just thought he wasn't handling well. If you look at Ray Evernham there in the box, but he's upset with himself because he felt like he should have diagnosed that problem sooner in the race car.
That's
Kenny. Look at Kenny Francis, the crew chief.
In the box that it has put this 9 car in, is they pitted with 200 laps to go. It would be a stretch for them to run 200 laps on one stop.
We are 250 laps in, 150 to go. Surprise, we've only seen the yellow fly twice today.
And what do we have out of the race? 2 cars? One car? One car. So I just think always amazes me the dependability of these race cars to be able to run lap after lap after lap, turning 9,200, 9,500 RPM, and just they all continue to run. Nothing ever breaks.
And Jeff Hammond pointed out in the pre-race, the driver never gets any relief. That poor race car never gets any relief here.
Yeah, only you and Hammond would think about the race car.
We can give you a drink of water.
The turns here are banked 24 degrees.
You give her 4 tires.
The straightaways are banked 9 degrees. That's more than the corner banking at some of the tracks we go to. Mark Martin, your leader by a second, has all top 15 finishes except Talladega in this, his 18th season with car owner Jack Roush.
All clear, all clear. 70. Flat out back. About 45 laps till we stop. 25.90. Clear. At 90. Clear all around, clear, clear. Back in our rhythm, man, nice and smooth. Up 80. 80 out back.
A lap down, may need they've got an episode of Rescue Me as this keeps going, but Mark Martin and Matt Kenseth, a couple of Roush cars leading the way ahead of Jeff Burton here with just 138 laps to go.
Well, right now, as we take a look out of Mark Martin's on-board camera, he knows got a caution right now, I think, on the racetrack, and I'm sure for a lot of these guys right now, they're definitely feeling good about this. They say there's debris in turn 2 for a lot of teams right now. They're breathing a sigh of relief.
Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
One of those teams is Ryan Newman. Another is Casey Mears and Dale Earnhardt Jr., all of whom were in danger of going one lap down. The other is Jimmy Johnson, who would have been the next car Mark Martin passed, and that would have put Jimmy 2 laps down. There's your free pass car, Carl Edwards.
And I just believe one other car that was glad to see this caution, Steve Burns reported on him a while ago, is Casey Kane in that 9 car. We think almost everyone could have made it on one more stop with the exception of the 9 car, who was probably only 20 to 25 laps away from having to make their green flag stop.
And not only that, Larry, that's a good break for him, but that car is good too. And I believe this caution gets him closed back up, gets back on sequence with everybody. He's somebody they're going to have to worry about.
Don't want to get too far off, you know. We're going to have 2 stops.
We'll have 13 cars on the lead lap when we restart.
That was 144 laps of green flag racing since our last caution back on lap 114, 115.
And let me tell you, my driver buddies, they are ready for a break.
Little time out here for a second.
Let's talk about this thing.
But as we pointed out, even though pit road won't be quite as crowded, but you can't relax on pit road at this place.
The 12 lead lap cars will pit. Mark Martin, Kenseth, Burton, Busch, Biffle, the top 5. Steve?
Kyle Busch saying the car has tightened up a lot. We didn't fix anything on the last stop, which was on lap 210. Kyle Busch, they're going to make a track bar adjustment and a wedge adjustment. Pretty significant adjustments on this number 5 Chevrolet of Kyle Busch, Dick Berggren.
Jeff Burton's car is still a little bit too tight. There was a mix-up on the very first pit stop, and an incorrect adjustment was made. Car seemed to like it, Matt.
Depending on how your car is as far as grip, you're either tight or you're loose, and that problem continues. For the 17 of Kenseth, stop already completed now. He was tight. They made an air pressure change in the right front. Mark Martin, tight battle off pit road. His car was still on the free side. They continued more with the chassis adjustment. Dick.
Yeah, what happened was on that very first pit stop, they made an incorrect adjustment, track bar, wedge, what have you, and the car seemed to like it just fine, so they didn't change it on the second round. But with the car as tight as it is, or it had become, they decided to go back and finally make the correct adjustment that they were going to make on the very first pit stop. They also changed air pressure in the car to try to loosen it up a little bit for, well, this race is starting to wind down, amazingly enough.
I think Mark Martin was going to beat Jeff Burton off of pit road, but he got boxed in behind Ryan Newman in the 12.
Trouble on Mark Martin. Looked like they were missing a left front lug nut. They only got 4 out of 5.
Cost him a win. It cost him a chance at Phoenix to win a race.
The tire changer gave him thumb up, and the official says, bring him back.
Remember at Phoenix, had a great car, shot at winning. Left the lug nut off, had to come back in, restarted only here. Lucky, only 14 cars on the lead lap.
But remember, restarting 14th with this many cars a lap down is like restarting 28th.
Especially when you've got all these cars 1 lap down that know they need to get back on the lead lap. They got any shot at winning this thing, and there's some good cars a lap down.
Now pit road's busy, 29 cars, and Mark Martin couldn't get in his pit box right there because of Kenny Schrader in the 21.
Well, Schrader was where he was supposed to be, and now Mark is in and out amongst the lapped cars. Third caution flag of the day with 134 laps to go.
This
only lap, got 134 to go, Mark. We'll win this thing, man. You're the man. Pound to the right front, bud. Pound to the right front, 4 to left front. Coming to 1 to go, Gene.
Premieres Thursday, June 29th at 10 on FX.
Mark Martin has returned to the pits to replace a missing lug nut on the left front, but sometimes coming in again is not easy. And this was one of those times.
Well, remember how many green flag laps we've had.
We'll see you. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more. Oh, you can wait. That's right. Come on. Get that left front, guys. Go side. Get everything right. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. One lane. All the way.
Some of that I put on the fellow holding the pit board sign. He was holding it low at bumper height. Martin couldn't see it because of Kenny Schrader's car.
Yeah, and the other thing was he was really wanting to get that Gatorade down his throat, too. I think that had him. He had one hand. He was trying to drive one hand.
Green flag. Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton, Kyle Busch, Greg Biffle, and Jeff Gordon. The front five with 131 laps to go. Matt Kenseth's team trying to win this race for the family of Michael Fermaglich, fabricator in the shop and pit boss for Matt's Busch Series team, 32 years old, died in an auto accident this weekend on a slick road in Concord, North Carolina, near the Roush Racing shop. So condolences to his family. His driver, Matt Kenseth, out front right now with 130 laps to go.
See Clint Boyer in the 07 car battling Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. Both these cars on the lead lap. This is a battle for the 5th position. Car that continues to come to life right now up there in that 2nd position. Kyle Busch in that 5 car. He is reeling Matt Kenseth in the 17 car in. He has the lap down car of Denny Hamlin in between him and Kenseth. And as we pointed out earlier, Kyle Busch did finish 2nd in both races here last year.
Boy, Hamlin just about. Oh, man, he almost lost it right there in front of those guys. That car jumped sideways with him, did a great job of hanging on to it. Watch this. What's that 11 car? That doesn't look like a lot on that replay, but let me tell you, that's a whole lot when you're following him. Oh, trouble, we got the
Johnson.
48 around.
The point leader spins at turn 4.
Nobody hits him yet.
He got the tap in the back in there from the 40 car.
Caution's out.
That caution will be good news, though, for Denny Hamlin in that 11 car, because he will get the free pass. He'll be back on the lead lap, which will put 14 cars on the
48's got quite a bit of rear damage, but it's all below the rear spoiler. I don't think it's going to have an effect on the car.
This is the left rear, guys.
He's got the 40 car under him right there. You see the 40 car gets a little bit loose, and up the hill he goes right into the 48. That was that little wiggle just like the 11 had, except 11 had nobody beside of him.
And again, Johnson takes a wild slide as Friday and keeps it off of both walls.
And just to update the fans that maybe joined us late, our points leader, Jimmy Johnson, there's where a lot of the damage came from David Strimmy again in the 40 car. But our points leader qualifying on Friday spun out, had to start at the rear of the field, and he's been fighting all day long, Steve, to try to get back up there.
And Larry Mack, listening to Jimmy Johnson on the radio, he said, I got clipped that time. He also said that his race car has been very loose as they put 4 new tires on the 48.
Well, I guess this means that bump won't hurt it. Who knows? Could help.
You know, where he got hit in the rear, it's not going to hurt a thing. It's all below the rear spoiler. I don't think that'll hurt a thing.
It's only been 4 or 5 laps since we were on pit road. And with Denny Hamlin, we have 14 cars on the lead lap. We may see some of the guys at the very back come in and make more adjustments.
Dale Jarrett grabs a gear and goes. He is lapped down in 23rd right now.
And Mike, as anticipated, Kevin Harvick, Mark Martin in the 6, Casey Mears in the 42. All cars on the lead lap. They are on pit road for possibly more adjustments.
Add Carl Edwards in the 99 to that list. Jeff?
Mike, I was noticing on that pit stop for Jimmy Johnson, there's the half rubber and the rear tire changer's mount. He comes around to the right side. He will change the right side tire, but they were talking about the car being loose. And Darrell and Larry both know that a lot of times when you're loose, you either take a rubber out of the right rear or you may put one in the left rear. And what he does when he goes back around, that's exactly what he does. He will stick this half rubber in the left rear to help tighten this 48 car up.
Yeah, I'm figuring if he's going to put it in one spring or another, it's going to be that left one because he's already loose, and that means the right rear is plenty stiff.
Now let's show what happens when they put a spring rubber in. When you put a spring rubber in, you're stiffening the rate of that spring. Now our animation is going to be on the right rear. What Timmy
to go this time, Mark. 1 to go this time, green next time. Pull the belt tight. Let's have it go on, bud.
The games, the stuff, it all comes together right here. Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
For some reason, it goes up to 250 on water when we're under yellow. 250 oil.
You have your fan on?
10-4.
Goes back down under green though, right?
Yeah, it's usually about 220 under green.
10-4, thank you. Belt tight, coming to the green.
Deserve a woman.
It's the consequences.
Once I dated this guy, Tommy killed him.
Susan Sarandon guest stars. Rescue Me, an all-new episode, Tuesday at 10 on FX.
Green flag. To begin lap 279, Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Jeff Burton, Greg Biffle, Jeff Gordon, Clint Boyer, Casey Kane, pole sitter Ryan Newman, Dale Jr. and Mark Martin are the top 10.
Boy, Kyle Busch,
Nice
that
job, buddy.
five,
Nice
got
job.
a runoff turn 2 down the backstretch. He goes to the high side.
That right there is where that high side pays off, man, on the corner exit. It's like having an extra 100 horsepower because you're wide open and the other guy isn't.
He just drives by Kenseth going off into turn 1. This is where it was so good the last time off turn 2.
Does he like this joint or what?
Loves it.
He loves it, doesn't he?
Rowdy Busch finished second in both Cup races here 1 year ago.
Got a lot of talent. Got a lot of temper, too.
Carl Edwards got a free pass on the caution 10 laps ago. So he's now the 13th place car, working Casey Mears. And we listened in on Carl.
We can't get to the lead in too big of a hurry there, Carl. Just take your time, buddy, and work on them. We're in good shape. Real good big picture. We just hang in there and do nothing ugly.
Of course, what Bobby Hudson's talking about, the big picture, trying to get to the top 10 in points. They've been fighting all season long. As we stand right now, he would be 14th in the points.
I just hope he doesn't see any frogs today.
He's not driving a green car.
Like he saw yesterday.
That was so funny yesterday. He went off in turn 1, looked at the incident, and I saw another frog.
They were there. He took me over there last night. They are along the inside guardrail there. The frogs are.
So the green car didn't have anything to do.
No, he saw frogs because I found him to ask him, what in the world are you talking about?
Yeah, I wasn't doubting him. Mark Martin was, but...
And you know, Carl Edwards in that 99 car, he was one of those cars that was on the verge of going a lap down earlier when we had those long green runs.
Car in the wall, turn 1, Yaley.
You watch, we've had 140 something.
Slow it down, babe. Slow it down. He's up high.
We've had 140 some laps of green flag racing, and now you watch how many cautions we have over the next 140 laps.
Well, this is 3 cautions in 18 laps. Debris in turn 2. Jimmy Johnson spin, and now this cruncher by J.J. Yaley.
Have I ever mentioned that cautions breed cautions? I didn't know if I'd
I
ever
seem to have heard that. Bobby Labonte is the good fortune recipient of the free pass. Look, 3 cars ahead from Casey Kane.
Whoa, he gets in there a little high, and boy, that thing snaps around with him. He's got he's going to need some of his product now. That's pretty good little lick he took right there.
Some of that migraine medicine?
Yeah.
From Jamie McMurray's car. Wobble, bobble, and a wall.
Oh, yellow's out now. Yellow's out.
You can tell yourself you bought a new Dodge Charger for the fuel-efficient V6 that gets 27 miles per gallon.
Kurt, do you feel like if the rest of the guys are a lap down, you think if they pit and you stay out and line up, take a shot at the Lucky Dog? Wind 2 and 4, I think we just need to try one more time staying out. Kurt, you follow the plan, what we're going to do here? 10-4. Looking at the 19, he's staying out. The 26 is trying to come in, and he stayed out. 26 stayed out. Come on down. 35 seconds. 35 seconds at the line. 35 seconds. 20 away. 4 tires and fuel. Jay, get that rubber in the race front. Do the best you can with it, Jay. Pace car is just out of 1 now, entering 2. Good job, guys. Come on around. Good job. Get ready, ready, ready. Go, 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 go. Stay tight, stay tight. Dig hard, dig hard. Give me a rolling on the 10. One to go when you get there. 1 to go.
You are watching the Neighborhood Excellence 400 presented by Bank of America from the Dover International Speedway on NASCAR In-Car.
In Dover, his last few times out. To answer, text the word crew to 191 on your Singular wireless phone or log on to foxsports.com/singular. You'll also be entered to win Jeff Burton's payday at the July race in Daytona. And 15 cars on the lead lap. Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Bobby Labonte with the free pass is the 15th of those.
And every time we have a caution, we're going to get another car back on the lead lap. We were down to 13. Now we're back up to 15.
All right, 113 to go. It'll be 112 at the green, and they'll have to make one more pit stop. We'll just take that volume knob and give it a big turn. Let's crank it up. Yaley again hard into the wall, turn 1. Caution is out. A succession of bad luck for J.J. Yaley. They thought they had that car pretty well fixed, and now it's pretty well more broken.
I'm anxious to see who gets this free pass. I was watching that race between Jeremy Mayfield and Jamie McMurray in the 26. They were battling hard, anticipating a caution would come out, who would get the free pass.
And we're told it will be Mayfield, the outside pole sitter, who will get back on the lead lap. And yeah, they were racing hard. Mayfield was sideways off turn 2, trying to keep Jeremy behind him, or trying to keep Jamie behind him. Jeremy did not get a great restart, and Jamie was all over him for the 16th position, and the first car 1 lap down.
And I tell you, these cars at the very front, like Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton, I don't think they're liking all these little bitty green flag runs. You know, you're not getting into a window where you can make it without stopping again, and you're not getting into a window where you've got enough laps on your tires. We keep seeing guys at the back come in, like here comes Kevin Harvick and Ryan Newman coming on the pit road, but these are cars that are at the back of the pack as far as lead lap cars.
We had 3 cautions in 260 laps. Now we've had 3 cautions in just 26 laps.
Did DW mention caution-free
cautions? I believe he did. I believe that may be all for J.J. Yaley today.
It'll be hard to drive that thing with no rear spoiler and that left front bowed in like that.
Car's a mess.
He has torn that man's car all to pieces.
Sixth caution of the day in Dover in the Neighborhood Excellence 400.
They have not opened pit road because of the snafu there.
Pit road is closed.
Pit road will be open. We're trying to get a confirmation whether we can stop or not because it had been closed.
Find that out.
Everybody can pit.
You say?
.240, 230 under caution.
It's open, right, Dave?
Yes, it will be open pit. This time, 4100. We will go to the tail after pitting for Lucky Dog.
A smooth stop here, 4100, 4100.
With our signature gravy and 3 cheese.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop on the sign. Clear one, clear one, clear one.
review. NASCAR has awarded the free pass to the Irwin Industrial Tools 26 of McMurray, and he is back on the lead lap. Birthday notwithstanding.
30 years old, that young man is.
Took 100 times that out of that slot machine last night.
I'm twice that old. I just thought about that.
You know, Darrell mentioned that all 5 Roush cars finished in the top 8 at Lowe's. With Jamie getting back on the lead lap, all 5 Roush cars are back on the lead lap.
A few cars are coming in to top off. Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick, Joe Nemechek, Bobby Labonte, Elliott Sadler, Dale Jarrett, and Kyle Petty are topping off, Larry, with 105 laps to go.
Well, if we stay green, you can't make it from here. But what they're doing there at the back of the pack anyhow, the more you put in it now, the less you have to put in it later. Shorten the stop up.
But it still will take one more stop.
Yes. One more stop, but we saw a lot of strategies yesterday where Burton didn't come in and get tires at the end. Carl Edwards did, and he wasn't able to catch Burton. So it gives you options that you wouldn't normally have.
So the next stop could well be fuel only on some of these.
Well,
runs.
it's a possibility.
If it comes quickly, they have fresh tires because they were just on pit road at the beginning of this caution, Kevin Harvick and Ryan Newman, to get tires.
I'm keep working myself to that window.
Ready.
Kyle Busch leading Matt Kenseth, yesterday's winner Jeff Burton, Greg Biffle, Jeff Gordon, and Clint Boyer. The highest running rookie in this race is 6th. Jimmy Johnson restarts a lap down in 20th. Ricky Rudd in relief of Tony Stewart, 2 laps down, 25th. 16 cars on the lead lap.
As we're looking at Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car right now, he's in the top 20, 1 lap down. That's even after spinning out. He's only finished off the lead lap 1 time this year. That was at Bristol. Had problems at the start of the race. But what he's working hard, we watched the battle between McMurray and Mayfield a while ago, is to try to get that first car lap down and get one of these quick cautions we've been having.
Right now, Larry, he is the 3rd car 1 lap down behind Mayfield and Reed Sorensen.
He needed all these quick cautions earlier in the race when he was the first car lap down. He couldn't get it.
Now, Mayfield and Sorensen are the 5th and 6th cars in line. Johnson is 11th, so he would have a ways to go to get the free pass. These 2 fellas are going to fight it out for it.
Yeah, Johnson's car is still.
Oh, turn 3, a smoker and a car in the wall. Sadler. And another caution flag within 30 laps. The car that went up in smoke was Kevin LePage.
49 car, I'm sorry.
So the 49 car looks like maybe lost an engine. Possibly Sadler got in the oil. Now LePage gets in his own oil.
He was, I believe, trying to go to the garage, Larry. And when he locked up the brakes, slid in his own oil.
Yeah, and the 38 car is pretty much destroyed.
So this car is not blown up, but it put a lot of fluid down. And the caution is out for the 7th time. And again, we have that question of who gets back on the lead lap.
I think
we shall not speculate.
No, but I think if you come and top off now with the way this race is going with cautions, you could work on making it to the end.
It's 100 laps to go. And we'll have a few laps of cleanup because definitely fluid went down in turn 3 from LePage's car and broke rotor again.
Achy breaky part. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's the 49's radiator, and that could be what all that fluid was. It may not be the engine. It may be look like the radiator hanging down underneath there.
The victim, Elliott Sadler, slid in that fluid and popped the wall in turn 3. Pretty hard hit. Jeremy Mayfield this time will get the free pass. The outside pole sitter moves back on the lead lap. That'll give us 17 cars on the lead lap.
Only a few minutes ago, we had 13 on the lead lap.
All right, here comes a lot of the leaders. Looks like Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton, Greg Biffle, the whole group of Steve Burns.
And Kyle Busch, as he gets into his pit box, just told Alan Gustafson that the car, the rear tires are chattering a little bit, and it's a little snug in the center. They said that they're very close to their fuel window right now, so they're on pit road and changing 4 tires, Dick.
Jeff Burton in what could well be the final pit stop of the day. They should have enough gas to go all the way. A minor chassis adjustment. Matt.
And the 17 of Kenseth says do not make any change as the 5 of Busch goes on by. Kenseth said the car is perfect on long runs. The 16 of Biffle in, no changes there. They can go the distance from here, is what Doug Richard was telling Biffle.
Kevin Harvick must have made the big gamble, Larry.
Well, remember, he just had put fresh tires on. All he needed was that little dash of fuel to get to the end. And there you see Ryan Newman. He was another car that got fresh tires a while ago, only had a lap or 2. He goes with fuel only. That's the reason those guys gained so many spots.
A couple of years ago, if I recall, that number 12 car won a couple of races on getting really good fuel mileage.
One driver did not stop among the lead lap cars. Jeremy Mayfield went from a lap down to leading this race in the space of about 5 laps.
And
jet dryers and a blower up there at the top side of turn 3.
Slower than Comcast high-speed internet.
It's perfect. I mean, his middle name is Slow.
My middle name is Matthew.
I was joking.
Oh.
Go way faster than DSL with Comcast high-speed internet. It's Comcastic.
There's a dame that's been checking us out all night.
Sexy.
Very sexy.
Susan Sarandon guest stars. An all-new Rescue Me. Tuesday at 10 on FX.
Right. 97 laps to go at Dover Downs. And let me correct, Jeremy Mayfield has just gotten back on the lead lap. 1 caution ago, Jamie McMurray got back on the lead lap, and by staying out on the racetrack, it is McMurray that is the leader. And I apologize for getting my Jamies and Jeremys mixed up. It has been a busy day in the concrete canyons of Dover, Delaware. Chris has highlights for us.
Yeah, Mike, Jeff Gordon has led the most laps today, 81, but he's currently 8th. Tony Stewart was the story as planned the first 36 laps. The quick change at the first caution with Ricky Rudd in. He was on the lead lap at that point, has fallen back 2 laps down, but is now just 1 lap down, is Ricky Rudd in the 20 car. Mark Martin, all 5 Roush drivers that have led today, and Mark did, but a little miscue in the pits, cost him 8 different positions, and he has slipped out of the top spot, currently running 3rd. Jimmy Johnson, who started 40, remember, had to share the pit, and makes another nice save, similar to Friday, this time with a lot of traffic. Doesn't make contact with the walls, gets a little tap at the end of this, but running 20th, currently a lap down and trying to stay in the chase. And then moments ago, more cautions after having just 3 cautions in the first 265 laps. We've had 5 cautions in the last 36. Elliott Sadler involved in the last moment from the Hollywood Hotel with Jeff Hammond. I'm Chris Myers, and Jamie McMurray, one of the Roush drivers, currently leading here with 95 laps to go. Let's talk a little pit strategy now.
Well, right now we've already seen it kind of play out. Guys stopped earlier on a previous caution, put fuel in the car after putting tires on, so they're able to stay out during this last caution. Beneficiary is number 26. He's moved back to the head of the pack along with Kevin Harvick as well as Mark Martin. So these teams are benefiting from these quick cautions we've been having here lately.
Yeah, let's get some thoughts too from Mike, Larry, and Daryl on why we've seen so many cautions. We know, Daryl, they breed cautions, but is it drivers wearing down a little bit? Is it the intensity of the finish line a little bit closer?
Well, I think it's drivers that are put in a position to try to get back a lap if they can, and the cars aren't, maybe your car's not that great, but on these restarts, you got to catch when they're all bottled up like that. It's a great opportunity to pass people, so you just get people running over each other. It causes all these cautions.
There are 3 ways to play at Dover Downs. You can bet on the harness races 140 nights a year. You can go over across the backstretch and play the slot machines 364 days a year, or twice a year you can gamble on pit road.
Well, and I think Chad Canals, Jimmy Johnson's crew chief, with as many cars that's a lap down, he knew he was not going to be able to do it the conventional way. They pitted the last time the caution came out. He stayed out, so now he is the first car behind the pace car at the tail end of the lead lap. The way the cautions have been falling, he should get this lap back. Daryl, how many times have we seen this with this 48 car?
And not only that, but when he's out front with clean air, I think that car will perform a lot better than it has back in traffic.
Wasn't quick enough to get the free pass position, so now he's trying to make some of his own luck. Let's recap the pit stops under this yellow. Dick Bergeron.
Well, as Larry Mack pointed out early in the broadcast, Jeff Burton has not won since October of 2001, but Mikey has had a good car all day long. So far, the pit stops have been absolutely flawless here. They think they can go to the end on fuel, although it's going to be very close. The 07 Clint Boyer, what a great story today. He has run toward the front all day long. Gil Martin, his crew chief, said he thinks the driver has another tenth or two in him. Matt Yoakum.
Now, if you're scoring at home, the guys that took fuel only, Harvick, Martin, and Newman. Now, Newman's team, their calculations say they may be 2 to 3 laps short on fuel. Now, Matt Kenseth, he took on fresh tires. Kenseth says his car loose on the get-go at the front end of a run, but it is great on the long run, and that's why they didn't make any adjustments. To Steve Burns.
Well, Matt, Jeff Gordon is trying to win here at Dover for the 5th time. Now, he says his car's a little bit too loose at the start. They made an air pressure adjustment. They also made a wedge adjustment. His teammate, Kyle Busch, trying to win for the 3rd time in his young career. He said the rear tires were chattering a little bit. They adjusted on that car with air pressure, and his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, told him, conserve gas, be easy on the throttle right here. We're very close to making it on fuel. Back to the Hollywood Hotel.
All right, thanks, Steve. And Roush Racing has won the last 2 Dover spring races with 2 different drivers, Mark Martin and Greg Biffle. Jamie McMurray, currently your leader, but still 93 laps to go here in Dover.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch. Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your
we pit, let's sneak a little piece of tape on there if you're going to tighten the car up a little bit, because my water's still pretty consistent, 210.
Okay, they're saying they're going to try to get everybody to run through it this time, blow it off, and then they should be ready to go.
You are watching the Neighborhood Excellence 400 presented by Bank of America from the Dover International Speedway on NASCAR in-car. Only available on digital cable.
Video games are incredible now. With a setup like this,
One to go. But lights are back on, and it'll be one to go at the line. All right, well, don't use any extra gas here.
Point.
Show we talked about these guys being able to run maybe 90 to 95 laps on fuel. Most of them pitted on lap 301, which is 99, but with these 12 or 13 caution laps, that should buy them enough to make it to the end. Casey Mears, the 42 car crew chief Donnie Wingo, he elected to top off just a couple of laps ago just for the insurance.
The tail end of the lead lap cars are Jimmy Johnson, Reed Sorensen, and Kurt Busch. Just ahead of race leader, the 26, the Irwin car of Jamie McMurray.
Just remember the 42 topped off for insurance. Well, why would he need insurance? Green, white checker.
There you go. Good point.
88 laps to go when they take the green flag this time. Counting those tail enders, 20 lead lap cars. 5 cars in the garage. You'll see them build speed on Fox tracks. McMurray, the leader. Here we go.
130 miles per hour when they got to the start-finish line of the green flag.
And over 140 into turn 1.
We're looking back at Jimmy Johnson. He would now be 1 lap down, but he would be eligible for the free pass behind leader Jamie McMurray in the 26 car.
Now he's in the rocking chair. That's a good place to ride. Reed Sorensen back on the lead lap. And McMurray with no contenders anywhere near him. For the lead, that is.
Jamie's come off a great run last week in Charlotte. Lowe's Motor Speedway, finished 8th. Leading the race here late today. Maybe this little team is starting to click.
Last night, the Dover Hotel and Casino, Dover Downs, made him a huge birthday cake with concrete colored frosting in the shape of the Speedway. Casey Kane added from the next table, I want the piece at the finish line. Matt?
Now, Jamie last pitted on 293 when he got the lucky dog. Now, they made a chassis and air pressure jump, but the car has just been way too loose on entry. That's been his biggest complaint most of today, but he hasn't said anything about the balance lately.
So what that means is crew chief Bob Osborne is trying to get 107 laps out of that fuel. As you see McMurray getting loose off turn 2. Here comes Kevin Harvick in the 29 car. This is a battle for the lead right now. But that would be a stretch to go 107 laps, even with those cautions.
I like what Jamie's doing right there, Larry. Kevin Harvick's all over him. He moved up, looking for a little bit better run here. Oh, baby, that is a slide right there, man. Holy smoly, and he hung on to it.
Lost the one spot to Jimmy Johnson, who's now back on the lead lap, but he kept the lead of the race.
Sometimes it's good to be your birthday.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, getting up off the bottom, you don't have such a sharp angle coming off the corner there, and that really helped him.
Matt Kenseth on the way back to the front, 6th place now as he passes Newman.
Scott Riggs there in the 10 car, 1 lap down back in 21st. Sterling Marlin right there in the 14 car. He's actually 3 laps down.
And Jeff Gordon now 8th, having dispensed with a bunch of lap cars. Still a ways to go. Greg Biffle now 9th. Casey Kane 10th. Smoker in the back straightaway brings out the caution, and again it's LePage. A lot of flame on that car that time. Going down into turn 3, cut it sideways, and it blew out.
Guess what? I don't dare who mentioned a free pass, but 2 cars that was in front of the leader, Reed Sorensen in the 41 car and Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car. Here with 80 laps to go, they are back on the lead lap.
And with only, that's going to put 20 cars on the lead lap.
We're the lucky dog. What do you think?
Well, that thing is just, the radiator was hanging out of that car earlier. And that's oil fire right there. Of course, you use a heat exchanger where the radiator and the oil cooler are together. And that looks like a very similar failure right there. Look at them come out. See how they come up out of that corner? That's a great shot right there. Watching cars come out of there. Now this isn't so great. Down on the apron. That thing ignites, baby. That's oil.
LePage has now stopped at the head end of pit road, and track workers going to his aid. Some of those flames may have found their way into the cockpit.
I think it's probably a lot of smoke too, Mike. Smoke inhalation there with all that. That was an oil fire.
Here's Kevin climbing out. He's okay.
Tough guy right there, boys.
80 laps to go. 20 cars.
Of them behind you'll stay out. That'll be my guess. Yeah, there's like 20 on the lead lap right now. 20 cars now. We're in 10th right now.
Do you want me to watch them, and if it looks like Hamlin's coming and Dale Jr., then for me to come too?
No, I think you need to stay out because the traffic's so screwed up. Them guys that are starting back there 15th, it's even affecting us bad, but the guys that are behind us are in even worse shape.
Yeah, 10-4. Good idea.
I don't think anyone in front of you is going to come in, but if they do, we need to stay out anyway.
10-4. Ask him if there's anything coming out now. Shouldn't be.
Info. Roger that.
Okay, next time by, 4 tires, fuel. Rubber in the left rear, Bailey, half pound in right front, half pound in left rear.
Careful getting on pit road with the speedy dry down on the apron and through on the pit road there.
Okay, make sure you get that rubber out of the right front.
Just in the 3 now, guys.
Okay, pit this time.
35 and second. Speedy dry right there. 35 and second. 20 away there. Around 15, Roy.
Come on down, come on down, come on down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dave, clean the grill as well. Take your time, guys. Let's get it right. Okay, you're clear.
3,500. 2 jet blowers up high, halfway down the back.
Okay, Kurt, get as far up there as you can. Some of those guys in the back, laps down, they wave you around or whatever. Come back on that. You got to start at the tail of the line. Some of those guys have problems, or more than 1 or more than 2 or 3 laps down, they may wave you around. Just get as far up as you can.
10-4. Want to make some fuel?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some of these other cats might not be able to.
Fajita Pizza for $11.99. $11.99. And play 100 sizzling days of summer at papajohns.com for a chance to win a...
All right, Mark, bells and switches. Here come your lap cars coming back to the green. Pull the belt out, let's have a go, man. If it stays green, we'll go wear him out, bud. You're the man. Green cars in. Let's be ready. Be ready. Ready. Green, 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 green. Go inside, keep coming. Barely there. Clear, clear, clear.
That 5 car got quite a run on the high side. He continues to work on the high side. Kevin Harvick on the 29 car. Scott Riggs right now would be the first car a lap down in that 10 car.
Whoa, boy, Rowdy got a little loose off too that time.
Remember, McMurray got the free pass on lap 291 and then did not pit with the rest of the leaders on the subsequent caution.
That's when he pitted, was that caution. He pitted on lap 293.
There goes Burton flying by Mark Martin. Mark looks way off right now. He looks like he can't get back to the throttle, and here comes Kenson.
The first race we had here with the free pass rule was September 2003. Ryan Newman was a free pass recipient and went on to win the race.
Well, guys, you can tell business is picking up. McMurray, our leader, Kevin Harvick in second to 29. Both of them just ran the fastest lap of this race. Right then, Kyle Busch in the 5 and third. He ran his quickest lap of the race.
Right now, when you're out there like McMurray is there, it doesn't get any better than this. You're going to run your best lap because, man, there's nobody around you bugging you.
70 to go.
But that's when it'll start bugging you if we have this long green run and he starts getting into traffic.
Craig Biffle moves around Jeff Gordon. That's for 9th place.
Gordon had that, like the second or third pit stop we had, and Gordon made some sort of adjustment. He complained about the air pressure adjustment or wedge that they made, and the car has never been as good since.
And it's not good on short runs. It takes a while to get going.
Yeah, we heard him say that it come to him after a while. We don't have a while right now.
There's Casey Kane in the 9 car right now. He's in the 8th position. We're riding with him here. He's battling Ryan Newman right there in the 12 car for position. And he will go by Newman on the outside. Seeing more and more cars move up the racetrack now, especially down at turn 3 and 4.
Carl Edwards got in the back of Robbie Gordon, gave him a little tap.
Coming
they
up
separate.
Look at them come up out there and they jump sideways. It's almost every car as it exits up out of that corner. The car gets light and the back wheels want to spin or come around with you.
And you are carrying some speed right now.
You are hauling the mail, baby.
Hey, Biffle keeps coming. He's alongside Ryan Newman for 8th place. Remember, Biffle skipped final practice yesterday. They said, we're ready to race. They were right.
And he's been hanging right here about all day long, just inside the top 10.
I'm just not a big believer in that.
There's Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car, Clint Boyer in the 07. This is a battle for 15th. Both of these cars, they have a little fresher tires than most of our leaders right now. Both of them on the lead lap, though.
Well, that 48 car is back to 16th place after running in the 25th to 30th position all day long.
That's the good news, Darrell. The bad news for Johnson right now is he's almost half a lap behind the leader.
Oh, Mike, he's just trying to salvage a good day. You know,
right.
He's not worried about winning at this point. He just wants a good top 10 finish. He'd be really happy to get out of here with that.
But this is the closest to the lead Jimmy Johnson has been all day.
All weekend.
Well, the thing about that team, a lot of teams really, but that one particularly, you give them enough caution flags, let them work on that thing a little bit, they'll get it up there.
Well, and we talked about it in the first half of the race. They just didn't have enough cautions to get there. Then we had about 5 or 6. Boom, boom, boom.
And that's how they got behind. No cautions to work on it. Put that rubber in the left rear, and it's been pretty good ever since.
McMurray has opened up a full second on Kevin Harvick.
I can't tell you how good a therapy this is for that kid right there in the 26. I mean, you know, he comes over to Roush, gets in that car. That's basically the 97 car. They figured he'd be a championship contender.
Probably good therapy for the whole race team, considering it was the Nextel Cup champions 2 years ago. New crew chief Wally Brown been in place now about Bob Osborne about 2 months with Jamie. Wally Brown's now over with Carl Edwards.
You think Bob's getting excited about now?
No.
I don't either.
Still a dial tone.
Yeah, he's just like a dial tone.
Air traffic control. All right.
10-4.
There's Bob Osborne.
Look at him. Steadying.
2 weeks ago, before the All-Star race, Jamie McMurray told me he will lay in bed at night staring at the ceiling, wondering what he needed to do. What was he doing wrong? How could we turn this team around? They've done it. At Charlotte and here at Dover, they have done it.
Regardless of what the finish ends up being.
Right.
Like Darrell said, this is what this race team and what Jamie McMurray needed here today.
They've become competitive. And he leads here with 60 laps to go. And Kevin Harvick trying to eat away at that lead, but only by about half a tenth every lap or two.
Jimmy Johnson in the 48 just drives underneath Bobby Labonte in the 43 car. Bobby's not going to go down easy, but I think the 48 car with a little fresher tires will eventually prevail here.
And this is where I think Jimmy Johnson is really, really good. He's back in the hunt. He came from nowhere. He's back in the hunt. He's just going, whoa, Jimmy, that wasn't what I was thinking, bud.
Don't want to damage that right front fender here.
You've been down all day, you know, bring it home with a good top 10 if you can.
You know, Bobby Labonte's had a decent car. He's fought hard to keep that 43 on the lead lap. He got a lucky dog at lap 285. Back on the lead lap, trying to hang on to a top 15 here. Fighting Johnson hard for that spot.
He held off the leader there, the 31 car. I think Jimmy's getting a little irritated, and Bobby knows it.
This will move Jimmy up into the 14th position in the 48 car.
Thank you, sir. And both of them, oh, I don't know that that was a friendly wave or not. It took 5-digit. I guess it was.
Message sent.
But Bobby has not rolled over at any point.
No, he fought the leader off there forever and got back on the lead lap earlier in the race.
But you know, Darrell, we had Jimmy on our trackside show the other night.
Turn 4, Robbie Gordon around. Caution is out. The Mapei number 7, new sponsor for Gordon. They make flooring adhesives and other construction equipment. New co-major sponsor for Robbie, who spent most of this week racing off-road in Baja, California.
I think he's blown out all 4 of his tires, a couple of them from spinning and the other 2 from just spinning around.
4 tires weekend, back to better fit.
Now this is where it becomes a tough decision. It almost mirrors the Busch race yesterday. These cars have not been on pit road in about 45 laps, but of those 45 laps, almost half of them have been under caution. But we're going to have about 50 laps to go, and then we're sitting here with basically 20 cars on the lead lap. It's almost a mirror of yesterday.
Time for a big decision by lots of crew chiefs. As you see Robbie Gordon way up by the wall at the top of your screen, and up in the loose stuff, around he goes.
Seen him up there a couple of times today. Now he just lights them up to try to get going. Here comes the leader, and you just see him spin the rear tires up. Yeah, Larry. We second guessed Jeff Burton yesterday, and he stayed out.
Well,
we thought that may be a mistake, but this looks.
Mark Martin comes in. Greg Biffle is in. Ryan Newman, Jeff Gordon come in.
I think Mark needed to come in, Mike. His car was going backward.
Hamlin, Edwards, Mears, and Sorensen also on pit road.
But we did have a lot of our leaders stay out, including Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car.
Add Jeremy Mayfield to the cars pitting on the lead lap. And a lot of fellows rolled the dice.
And again, we mentioned that Jimmy Johnson, Clint Boyer stayed out. Remember, they have much fresher tires than those guys that stayed out to the front, because those guys pitted back on lap 323 when they got back on the lead lap.
2 tires on the 11, Larry.
So the first 5 drivers stayed out. McMurray, Harvick, Kyle Busch, Jeff Burton, and Matt Kenseth, among others.
This is the final vault for Stefan Beletsky.
Father and coach Usten Beletsky looking on.
Whoa! Oh. I've never seen a springboard break like that.
There will be a deduction.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I thought a few more would have pitted, but looks like we got a couple of knocked down. Hang on a second. Right now you're P10. 10th.
Yep, first car with tires is back there in 11th place.
Simple. I'm sure someone put on 2 as well, didn't they?
I think he put on 4, the one that came out 11th.
One to go this time, buddy. One to go.
Gravy and a 3-cheese blend?
It's like you've...
It'll be 51 to go, bud. 51 to go. Don't talk to me a lot. And just let me know, count them down for me. You know, like every 10. Don't talk to you? I'm not a big talker. Coming to the green. We'll let you start it. Clear all around.
Too loose to run low. I saw him every time he gets down on the bottom like that, particularly under somebody, that thing jumps almost out money. He's got to run a little bit higher to really go.
Car owner Rick Hendrick came on the radio to Kyle Busch and counseled patience. Take your time.
know how patient a 20-year-old can be, do you?
There's Rick Hendrick, owner right there. Kyle Busch's car. Kyle Busch back to the bottom again, turn 1 and 2.
Right there, though, he can't stay down there. And Rick says, oh, please don't do that.
But this is great news for our leader, Jamie McMurray, the 26 car. He has pulled out almost to a second lead just 3 laps after the restart. Clean racetrack in front of him. If his tires hold on, I think we've had enough cautions that the fuel will be there.
At 6th place, Casey Kane racing Dale Earnhardt Jr. and a resurgent Jimmy Johnson. What a weekend Johnson has had, and what a surprise to find him racing for a top 10 spot.
You ought to have seen that coming off the turn 4 that time with the 31 to 5. The 5 is really bad loose on the bottom. He moves up, he's okay. Watch him come off turn 4 here, Larry. 31 gets a nose up under him right here, makes him even more loose. Yow!
Never touched him, but that takes the air off that rear spoiler on the 5.
Yeah, well, you put those sloopy noses up under those high back ends, and you're going to get a loose car like that right there.
Burton has now made the pass on Kyle Busch.
Still there, still there.
And this also has enabled Burton's teammate Kevin Harvick to really pull out in front of these 2 guys right here.
Burton is so good right through the center of the corner. He gets a great run, and Busch a little loose off. He's got to pedal it. Burton goes by.
But look behind Kyle Busch. Company's coming, and it is Matt Kenseth who has led 79 laps today in that DeWalt 17.
Kenseth's car is really good on the long run, has been all day, but we don't have all that far to go, so I don't know if he's got time to chase everybody down or not.
And even though on that last caution, about half of the lead lap cars pitted for 4 tires, some did too. All of these cars, including Matt Kenseth in the 17, Kyle Busch in the 5 cars that elected to stay out.
That last caution was the 9th of the day. Scott Riggs was the free pass car, so he's back on the lead lap. Car owner Jack Roush for Jamie McMurray, the race leader, and for the 17 of Kenseth, who's trying to move into 4th here.
We heard Kyle Busch say his car shattered the tires. That's on exit, and you just get a little loose, and all that power, it spins the rear tires, and that's where he's having all the trouble.
Here is Steve on Kyle Busch.
And Mike, when the last caution came out, Kyle Busch said this car is too tight when I'm trying to turn back down the hill. And his crew chief, Alec Gustafson, has been telling him, don't give up. If your car is going away, don't give up. This race is winding down.
Well, I guarantee he won't give up. You can believe that.
No, and of course, you know, we've got 400 miles here almost in this race. Rubber builds up on top of asphalt. Doesn't go down in it so much, stays up on top. That little bit of a rubber buildup causes that chatter, makes you push a little ways and then jump sideways.
Jimmy Johnson has passed Dale Earnhardt Jr. to move into 7th.
And that's one reason you move around, to get away from all that buildup.
You see the 20 car there right behind Matt Kenseth. That's Ricky Rudd, subbing for Tony Stewart. He got in that car back on lap 37, but right now 2 laps down because he had a pit road exit speeding penalty on a green flag pit stop.
First race that Rudd has been in this year. He's a 4-time winner here. Kenseth, Busch, and finally Matt Kenseth uses the bottom side to move up into 4th. McMurray, the leader, 1.1 seconds ahead of Kevin Harvick and 2.4 seconds ahead of Harvick's teammate, Jeff Burton.
Harvick's inching in a little bit on McMurray.
It's like maybe about 3 or 4 hundredths a lap.
Just ever so slightly. Right now, everything's cool. There's no lap traffic to deal with. Clear racetrack. Just keep focusing on the hitting your marks.
Going to be a great day for car owner Richard Childress. 2 cars in the top 5 and all 3 cars on the lead lap. as Mark Martin's just passed Jeff Gordon to move up to 13th.
Change of fortunes, isn't it?
Yes.
24 is up front leading the race early on. Johnson struggles. 24 gets worse. 48 gets better. 48 running 7th. 24 running 14.
Now, when we were riding with Mark Martin here in the 6 car, looking back at Jeff Gordon, this is 2 cars that decided to make pit stops on that last caution and change 4 tires. We saw the problems that Mark had getting back out of his pit box. That cost him some time.
See, that's the other thing you have to consider when you come down pit road and make those changes late in the race. What if I have a problem? It's really going to affect my finish then.
Well, now the front 5 cars are each in clean air and each with no traffic to deal with 36 laps to go.
And again, about a trade-off between the 26 and the 29. A 25-18, and that time Kevin was a 25-12. So 4 500ths every lap.
And that Lowe's Chevrolet growing larger in Casey Kane's rearview mirror. There's Martin Truex, the first car 1 lap down in 22nd place.
And just talking about our leader, Jamie McMurray, right now in the 26 car with 35 laps to go. Remember, he qualified in the 9th position, had to go to the rear of the field because of an engine change. Darrell, we've been talking about all during the show teams that needed to win a race, and how long it's been. 125 races since he won a race at Lowe's Motor Speedway, subbing for Sterling Marlin in his 2nd career start.
Hard to believe this is his 4th year in Cup. Seems like it was only yesterday that he started with that win at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
No one thought he'd win that quickly, or anyone would win that quickly. No one thought it would take this long to try and get win number 2. Jeff Burton, one of those trying to deny McMurray. He's in 3rd place, running the same lap times as the leader, Dick.
And as has been the case all day, Mike, Jeff Burton's car is just a little bit tight. They have adjusted that car on virtually every pit stop, including the last one, to try and loosen it up. They need a long green flag run. That has been the radio transmission. They're hoping that if we get one, that the car will come to Jeff Burton.
We've got 32 laps to go for this 31 car, and right now you see Matt Kenseth in that 17 starting to move up the racetrack, and he is about a 10th of a lap quicker than Jeff Burton in that 31.
I believe the best car right now is the 17 car, Larry, and I believe the 26 is starting to fade just ever so slightly. And again, Kevin Harvick keeps nipping away at him.
And what about the 5 of Kyle Busch, who has slid to 5th place?
Cal, dig in. I'll dig in anything deeper. I'll be the China.
You got to dig through a lot of concrete to get to China.
That's not exactly the kind of encouragement I'd like to have right there.
This is the battle we were talking about that was brewing. Matt Kenseth in the 17 car battling Jeff Burton in the 31. This is a battle for the 3rd position right now, about 2 seconds behind leader Jamie McMurray, who right now continues to lose about a 10th a lap to 2nd place Kevin Harvick.
That 17 car is coming. I like that car really has a good look to it, Larry, and he's just chomping away here a little bit at a time.
I think the other problem for Jamie McMurray, remember he's on a little bit older tires in a lot of these cars, is we've got 29 laps to go. He's about 8 to 10 laps from catching a lot of lap cars. That's where it's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. His car works pretty good up off the bottom. That might be a good thing for him to go by on the outside possibly. Harvick looks like his car is almost mirroring Jamie's.
Yeah, Jamie's problem is in his mirror, not out his windshield right now. Kevin Harvick driving the same chassis that won at Phoenix and dominated Richmond while finishing 3rd there.
I tell you, when the rookie gets that close to the front with 26 laps to go, there goes the 17. He'll make the pass pretty easily, I think. Yep, there he goes.
He pretty much goes wherever he can and where he needs to make the pass. Matt Kenseth.
And Jeff Burton, even though, you know, I mean, they're former teammates, Jeff Burton didn't hold him up. He said, "You're faster, go on, dude."
You see there, Kenseth is just back to the throttle so much quicker than Burton can get the power to the ground. Burton can get to the gas, but you risk spinning the tires and spinning out.
The whole thing about the 17 car is if he doesn't run out of time. I think he has the best car, but he might run out of time.
Darrell, watching our front too, there's just no clear-cut advantage or disadvantage between McMurray and Harvick. If anything, Harvick maybe beats him down in the quarter just a little bit.
Yeah, well, that time by, Larry, 25.448 to a 25.447. So that's 1,000. I tell you what, Larry, if that 48 car right there, if he comes out of here today the way it looks like he's going to, they have found a horseshoe somewhere.
Well, he just ran the fastest lap of any of our leaders right now. He's in the 7th position. He has that 9 car right there in his sights. The man he ran second to a week ago at Lowe's in the Coca-Cola 600.
Of course, he came back to pit road, so he's, you know, he's going to be a little bit better than those guys, I think. Didn't he pit there that last go-round?
He actually stayed out.
He stayed out.
As the 9 car did, which is where he gained so many spots on the racetrack.
Jeff Gordon holding off Kurt Busch.
Just
made
went
the
around
pass
him
there, yep, for 13th.
Now that's a little fresher tires on Jeff Gordon in the 24 than Kurt Busch in the 2. The 2 stayed out in the last caution. The 24 pitted, as well as the 12 came in. Ryan Newman right there in front of Jeff Gordon. He made a stop as well.
Leaders just 3 car lengths apart now. And it'll be 21 laps to go. Harvick is there.
And as we spoke, they have caught the tail end of the field as well. They will catch, looks like Kenny Wallace up there and Derek Koch in about a lap or 2.
Now, Harvick's got to figure out how he can get around McMurray in a hurry. He can't mess around. If he gets stuck on the bottom, trying to pass him on the bottom, he could lose a lot of time.
And then Matt Kenseth would be right there to pounce.
Matt will be right on him.
Boy, Harvick got a good run off turn 2 the last time. Right up to the rear bumper, the 26 car. 26 car washes up. Harvick turns it to the bottom.
Now here's where the 29 has got to take. This is where you get held up, running side by side.
Kevin Harvick has not led this race today.
And you see what happens. He'll get a run. Here he comes under, but he can't stay there. It's slowing them both down and letting Matt Kenseth just reel them right in.
And we've seen this all weekend long, where if you can get to that high side off turn 2, you can beat that guy on the bottom off the corner.
You just keep him pinned down. He needs the whole racetrack to make the pass. Harvick has got to get by him if he has any shot at all.
If this keeps up, we're going to have a 4-car battle for the lead. You see Jeff Burton not too far in the distance behind Kenseth.
Boy, McMurray got way up the racetrack that time off turn 2, but he still won the drag race down the backstretch.
But that's where his car has been good there. It works good there if he just doesn't overdrive the corner and get in there so far that Kevin gets ahead of him in the center of the corner.
McMurray's led more laps today, 3 times as many laps today as in the whole season to date. But now Kenseth is just 3 car lengths off this lead battle.
And he is much faster than these cars. He's just going to pull to the inside of
The thing about the 17 is he can pass on the bottom. He's good on the bottom. He can go right here. He can make that pass and continue right on.
Look how much quicker he beat Harvick to the throttle back in turn 3 and 4.
And Jeff Burton is coming.
Now, if that's 17 and 29, they can keep running side by side. That's good news for McMurray. He stretches it out, and Harvick pulls back in front of Kenseth. 16 to go next time by. Now Kenseth goes to the high side.
I'll go to the real high side. But Jamie McMurray is loving this. I think Matt's got to make his pass on the bottom. His car's been good there all day.
And Harvick won't give him the bottom.
Look at this.
Jimmy Johnson closing on Casey Kane for 6th.
What a comeback, Steve.
What a great team effort by Jimmy Johnson, Chad Canals. Spotter Earl Barban is telling him what a great job he has done. They've been loose, they've been tight, they put spring rubbers in that 48 car. And Mike Joy, as you said, if they come out of here with a top 10 finish, they've had a great day.
Well, that last chassis adjustment, Steve, when they socked that rubber in the left rear spring and tightened that car up, it's been good ever since.
Now for our leader, the question will be, will the traffic be Jamie McMurray's friend, or will it hold him up?
Well, I was just going to say the busiest man in Dover, Delaware right now is his spotter, Dave Atkins. He's all over the top of this building talking to the spotters of those lap down cars.
I think the way McMurray can run high and he really can pass up there really easily. See him go to the bottom here.
Yeah, I had no choice. Derek Cope was up high, and here comes Harvick.
And you see what? He can't run the bottom, so he needs to really work on the outside. He doesn't need to go to the bottom. When he goes to the bottom, he just slows down. He got to stay up there and keep digging.
But Jamie used Derek Cope in the 74 car as a pick. 14 to go.
Yeah, well, he was his pick, all right, but that's what got him. That's what caught the 29 back up. And here's Kenseth trying to look to the bottom, and that's his best move. Kenseth can't run high.
And Burton got past Cope cleanly, which brings him closer to that lead path. McMurray cannot afford to dally with these lapped cars.
If Jamie McMurray doesn't make a mistake, if he doesn't overdrive a corner and get the thing up the hill too far, he's going to be all right, I think.
He's got to be all right for 12 more laps.
And they're definitely going to catch about 4, 5, or 6 more lap cars up there. He just needs to catch them in the right spot. Boy, Harvick got a good run off too that time, pulling away from Kenseth a little bit.
Now the next car is up ahead. Robbie Gordon is running low and Michael Waltrip up high. This could be a bit of a logjam for our leader.
I think Michael will know he's coming. He'll move out of the way, and Robbie's kind of wounded. I don't think that's going to be a problem. McMurray just needs to find a line. I don't like that low line off the 2 right there, but he seems to like it down there. Here
Johnson,
comes 48.
Kane, 6th place.
Now, one note I want to make about our leader, Jamie McMurray, is we'll be coming to 10 to go. Remember, 107 laps since he's been to pit road, but I think enough cautions, he should be okay on fuel.
Well, now, you know, a Roush car, remember Phoenix, all of them ran out of gas.
We've had 23 laps of caution since he was last to pit road, Matt.
Mike, before the last caution, Bob Osborne's only concern was if we got a green-white checkered finish, he may not have enough fuel. But then we got the caution, so they should be good to go, even if that situation comes up.
Matt, with 9 to go, he pulls up on the back of Robbie Gordon in that 7 car, another lap car.
Jamie loses a lot of time, Larry, when he goes to the bottom, if he would just stay on the top. But now Harvick's got to block the 17 right there, but look at that run. Jamie just doesn't run good when he tries to go low.
A lot of lap cars directly in front of the leaders. McMurray trying low. Robbie Gordon gives plenty of room, but they're 3 wide in front of the leader now.
What's that 29? He jumps out. He just cannot get off the corner on the bottom. He's got to run the high line.
And like Mike said, there's 3 lap cars there in front of him. McMurray goes to the high side. He prevails a little bit. They're side by side off turn 2.
Can't make that pass. Only way he's going to make that pass is hit him.
Here comes Kenseth on the bottom, and he almost touches with Harvick.
If these lap cars will give McMurray the high side of the racetrack, like you said, Darrell, I think he'll be okay.
He'll be okay. He just needs to really focus hard, run the high line. Don't try to run low. He's not good there.
7 laps to go.
Kenseth alongside of Harvick. I believe Kenseth may be able to make this pass on Harvick. That could be bad news for the 26.
Schrader.
Kenseth right here should be able to accelerate ahead and get up in front of him right there.
Boy, he picked up that throttle quick. Now McMurray clears Schrader. He's got to get back to the high side. 6 to go.
Matt is so good on the bottom. I think he can get by McMurray if he can get to him.
Now Harvick has a rearview mirror full of his teammate Jeff Burton in that 31 car, the orange car there.
Teammates racing teammates.
Side by side in front of the leader, Michael Waltrip and Joe Nemechek.
Come on, guys, move over. Let them go. Give us some racing room here.
They do. They get single file. It's just 5 laps to end a long victory drought for Jamie McMurray.
Boy, that hurt him right there, though. He's not there again. He's pedaling it off of a 2. Here comes Kenseth with a whale of a run. He needs to get by Michael right here. He's got to go to the bottom because Michael will not give him the top. Come on, Jamie, gas it. Made it.
He cleared Michael. He gets back up in front of Michael. Matt Kenseth still side by side with the 55 car. 4 to go.
Now that cost McMurray a lot of his lead.
It did, and that's opening the door again for that 17 to look underneath.
McMurray only has about 1 more car out there in front of him. They'll be coming to 3 to go this time, but Jamie goes to the bottom, tries to slide up in front of Matt.
He's got to stay up high. Come on, Bob, tell him. Oh, he got loose off at 2 that time.
Side by side, 3 to go.
McMurray got loose off of 4.
He can get him back, though, because he's so good if he'll run that line right there.
But Kenseth's going to clear him coming off turn 2. Jamie wants to fight back, but Kenseth will go up in front of him.
Come on, but you can pedal back on the outside.
2 to go this time by.
And while these guys are doing it, here comes Harvick in the 29 back in the picture.
Hey, you want to talk about somebody in the picture? Look at the back of our picture right here in that Lowe's car.
48, Jimmy Johnson.
He can see the leader.
Where did he come from?
We got 3 sets of teammates up there in the top 6.
2 Roush cars, 2 Childress cars, and 2 Hendrick cars. 2, 4, 6. And it'll be white flag over Matt Kenseth this time by.
Well, Jamie may not win the race, but he gave it a valiant effort.
And he'll sleep well tonight.
Yes, he will. I finally turned the corner.
He made a statement today, him and that whole race team.
Good job. Kenseth's car was just too good.
Matt Kenseth can make it off turn 3 and 4. He's going to chop into that points lead of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, it's a great job on the Matt's part. Way to go, Matt.
Loose off 4, but Matt Kenseth wins the neighborhood excellence 400.
And Jimmy Johnson comes home 6th. That's amazing.
From 19th starting position, Kenseth the winner, and Jamie McMurray drove his heart out and got his best race of the season.
A lot will be said about that drive by Jimmy Johnson from the back, making up a lap to 6. But remember, McMurray started this race in the rear too because of the engine change.
But he never spun out all day.
This is true.
That's a pretty exciting finish.
Really was.
I'm happy for Matt. He's such a great guy.
It's his second win of 2006.
Burnouts here now, they make me nervous. Remember when the 16 car Bethel, he can't get her turned around.
Yeah, he burned out into the wall.
Yeah, he backed it up in the wall.
And all the killer bees are up on the wall to salute their driver.
NASCAR Nextel comes. In-car.
From Sprint.
There's a dame that's been checking us out all night.
Sexy.
Very sexy.
Susan Sarandon guest stars. An all-new Rescue Me. Tuesday at 10 on FX.
FX welcomes you back to Dover, Delaware. This is the Nextel from Sprint post-race show. And a happy celebration for Matt Kenseth and Roush Racing finishing 1-2. Let's get out here to victory lane and our Matt Yoakum.
He has a Dover pole on his resume, and now Matt Kenseth has a Dover Nextel Cup Series victory. Almost lost the watch. Matty, first off, talk about the call to stay out and run with those older tires.
Robbie was a little mad at me at the time, but
that was a call from the driver.
Yeah, we've been, getting forward a few times. I felt like I was faster than the 4 cars in front of me, and felt like it was worth a shot. So at the time, maybe it wasn't the right thing, but it turned out all right. So I really got to thank DeWalt. All the guys from DeWalt are here. They're just from down the road there in Baltimore. So thanks a lot to them guys. That was an awesome race.
How much fun, though, to win like that, racing 3 guys there at the end?
Well, that was fun because nobody wanted to give an inch, and there's a lot of room to pass here, but it's still hard to pass here side by side. And Kevin and Kevin and Jamie were both so much fun to race with, and Jeff Burton today. You know, they gave you enough room, and they raced it so hard, so it was really exciting win. I feel bad for Jamie because he was right there to the end, but that was a great win for our team.
Watch your back. Jack Roush has already retaliated with the Gatorade.
Yeah, and once again, I got to thank DeWalt and Ford, USG Sheetrock, Carhartt, R&L Carriers, all our great partners that make this thing happen. Thanks a lot.
Second win this season, Steve Burns.
And Matt, Jamie McMurray talking with Kevin Harvick, and Matt Kentz has just said in victory lane he felt bad for you. How badly did you want to win that race?
Well, it's been a long time, and I thought I had it. You know, once I cleared the 21 car, I got a little bit of a gap on everybody, and I thought that we were going to be able to win, but, you know, this is encouraging for our team. We've struggled pretty much all year, and we've run better the last few weeks, and this week it's big for us. So good day for the Irwin Industrial Tools Ford Fusion.
Great job, Jamie. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
And I'm with Jimmy Johnson. What an incredible weekend this has been. The spin didn't wreck the automobile. Started in the back. Car wasn't fast. Spun again during the race. And here you finished 6th today. Is this as good as a win?
It is. I forgot about that second spin. I just kind of, you and I were talking before we went on the air. I forgot all about that one. I got clipped on the inside and turned around. Luckily didn't get in the outside wall. But we just fought and fought and fought all day long. The car wasn't right at the beginning. It was really loose and hard to drive. We just kept working on it, making it better, and there at the end, I was catching the lead group, 5/10 a lap. Then I got to him, and from where I was sitting, that was one heck of a race in front of me. We had a hard time getting this tire working underneath our race car, but I think this tire is what let us get so wide and have so many grooves and put a show on like the fans deserve here.
Congratulations, what a great run. I'm going to go look for his horseshoe, Chris Myers. It's got to be in this car somewhere.
All right, he wants the good luck to keep up a lot of skill and talent in that crew, and Jimmy Johnson driving his way back to the points lead. Let's listen in. Matt Kenseth, former Cup champ, former Rookie of the Year, but a win always sounds good and feels good.
Get yourself out, boys! That's what I'm talking about right there. Oh! Wow! Good job, boys! All right!
Before I got help.
After 400 miles, this is how they wound up. Jeff Hamilton, you saw Jeff Burton lead for a while. Kyle Busch. Casey Kane was trying to go back-to-back. Mark Martin even up there.
Well, I mean, what I was impressed about is we see all these guys. Denny Hamlin, he went up to the front. Jeff Gordon led for a while, but it was a great race from top to bottom. I think we saw a lot of guys competing. This race was kind of like unusual for the Monster Mile. We didn't see a lot of crashes, but when we did, it kind of happened at a timely period where it gave Jimmy Johnson the opportunity to get back into this race.
7 cautions in the last 135 laps, and you noticed Ricky Rudd, 25th in the 20 car, which is where Tony Stewart started the race, and Rudd hopped in. So Jimmy Johnson, halfway through this race, had lost the points lead, but fighting back from a couple of laps down. Even though Kenseth won the race, still chasing Jimmy Johnson, and Tony Stewart slips to 5th as he gets ready to go to Pocono.
But same time, Tony Stewart loses the position. Dale Earnhardt Jr., he gains one. It's good to see him up there in the top 5.
We of the Fox family want to extend our condolences to the family of Pearl Fasori. She passed away earlier this week. Her son Mark, a valued member of our crew. Our thoughts and prayers with him and his family at this time. And also for all the D-Day veterans and their families, eternally grateful. Next week we'll be at Pocono. Sunday afternoon races for the next few. Pocono, Michigan, and then Sonoma on Fox. For Jeff Hammond, I'm Chris Myers. Thanks for being with us, and for our entire crew, we leave you from Dover, Delaware, where Matt Kenseth finished ahead of teammate Jamie McMurray, passing him with 3 laps to go, giving Matt Kenseth the victory here. Have a good week. We'll see you next weekend. Thanks for being a part of NASCAR on Fox.
This copyrighted